That's hot.
Get it while it's hot.
While April Fool's definitely had its fun to kick off Uni Rocketeers Spring 2026, we've got unfinished business. 4 rounds of Swiss to be exact, and we still got to figure out who are going to be our 8 teams advancing to playoffs next week. And if our matchup between Warwick and OVGU was any indicator of the type of close matchups we're in for, we're most certainly in for a pleasure. It's technically round number 2 as we get ready to start the day, but of course all of our teams will hope to regain momentum as they get started from yesterday. And whether you're back from yesterday or it's your first time through, what it do, what up, I'm your boy Q, and it is indeed about that time we get down and do what it do. Back with me again, we've got Pig and Rhino. Pig, we'll start with you. How you feeling today, big dog?
I'm feeling very good. Happy to get the action up and rolling yet again. 8 teams get to survive for 1 extra day, but we're hoping that by the end of the night, the herd can finally be culled.
Rhino, how about you, big dog? I feel like we didn't get to talk to you too much yesterday. How you feeling heading into this beautiful Thursday?
Yeah, one of those ones with the servers going down. I didn't get the chance to really cast too much, but we're here now. We're here today, and I'm super excited to be able to actually cast some Rocket League. Oh, goodness me. It's going to be a good one.
Now, we did get through a full round before servers took a nosedive, so we'll pick things up where we left off. And you know what? I guess we might as well go ahead and take a quick look as far as where the Swiss brackets look for now. Southampton, Dr. Bowman, PXL, Warwick, Chichester, Birmingham, Arcata, and AP all taking home those dubs in round number 1, moving up to that 1-0 side of the bracket. I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I guess before we get started into things here, is there anything that kind of stands out to you in round number 1, Pig?
Well, but we picked the right series to watch, clearly.
Fair.
All of them ending in either sweeps or forfeit victories all around. Of course, Roehampton being the very surprising team not to show up and end up into that 0-1 bracket. But, of course, OVGU versus Warwick, that looked like it was the best game of the Swiss stage. And with those clips that Zanino were scoring, that just helps to cement that point for me.
Well, definitely felt like we all knew how that one was going. We definitely felt like we all, I was kind of worried with the death sweep. I know you called Warwick as a team to look out for, Rhino, but were there any other results that really stood out to you through round one?
Yeah, I feel like I was the only one who actually had a reasoning behind why going for Warwick in round one. You know, I had that built up. As far as surprises go, nothing really standing out to me other than the forfeits, right? You see the forfeit loss on the side of Loughborough. PXL going through. PXL are a great team on their own, so I don't know how that game would have gone if they did get to play it, but to go through it in that manner and beating out one of arguably the favorites for the tournament, that's an interesting one for sure, and means PXL find themselves in the 1-0s.
Now, we do see, of course, at the bottom in that 0-1 now, 3 forfeits going through the bracket as OVGU unable to attend today. So kind of in the same space as we talked about yesterday. First eliminations truly won't be happening until round number 4. But, of course, Swiss stage, the big thing is you win 3 series before you lose 3 series, because the big goal is getting into that playoff bracket, which, while we don't necessarily know who's going to be in the playoff bracket just quite yet, we will be filling out the bracket over the course of the next couple of hours here, as we're going to be looking to try and break things down for that double elimination bracket next week, Pegasus.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's double elimination. It's what you like to see as well. Those teams that do end up in that top 8 get that second chance to make their way into that finals. It's going to be a very exciting time. And I'm interested to see the nation distribution as well, because at this initial point, we've got a lot of these UK teams somewhat dominating the bracket. But of course, you know that Germany can rise up. There's some really strong Belgium teams as well. And of course, that Finnish side that I'm looking out for. So going to be interested to see who can even survive by the end of the night.
I feel like we always end up at some point, once the playoff bracket is all said and done, Rhino, we get the UK on one side, the Deutschland on the other side. Do you feel like there is one of these schools that has the chance of disrupting that here going kind of through?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Arcada have a real chance out of Finland. There's some players on that team that I definitely recognize, and I don't know if anyone's been seeing, but I'm particularly interested in Finnish Rocket League right now. So that's one that really interests me. I do also think one of the Belgian teams is going to be able to get through. PXL, now they're in this 1-0 bracket, have a little bit of an easier run for the rest of the day, and AP as well. They've got a really tough game against Chichester, which we'll talk about in a minute, but beyond that, since they're in the 1-0s, there's a real chance they could go all the way.
The good news is we kind of had spacing in our schedule, so really not too much going to be changing, despite the fact that Swiss has been carried over into a day number 2. But what I did want to talk to you gentlemen about before we really go into the specifics of this matchup here, we saw all these teams get warmed up and get ready to go right into what's expected to be a longer day of Swiss yesterday. And you had to press pause, and now you're getting back to it today. How much do you think that's going to affect maybe some of our teams who are maybe more of the underdogs who really had hyped themselves up to rise to the occasion yesterday here right now?
Tough one to think about. It's really difficult because on the one hand, yes, as you rightly say, you've got yourself excited, you got yourself warmed up, you're feeling like, yeah, we're going to make the miracle run today, that's how it's going to be, and then servers go down and all of the wind gets taken out of your sails. By the same token, it is going to work the opposite on the other side, right? Some of the favorites are going to have come in yesterday feeling exactly the same way, feeling pretty good about themselves, and then you get that server disruption, you get that moment, and your mental can start to spiral a little bit easier when one of those disruptions happens, right? So coming into day 2, if game 1 goes wrong for one of the favorites, then there's a real chance of that mental spiral down, and might open the door for some lower ranked team.
I think the thing that's definitely interesting, and really I guess there's only one series that it's technically involving here at the start, but usually when you go into a Swiss stage, you have 3 lives, right? You have 3 chances. Yep. Well, for one of our matchups here that is going to go into that 0-2 round, you lose that matchup, you're 1 foot out the door already. What does that kind of, what kind of sense of urgency does that make you have to hit the pitch with here, Pegasus?
I mean, the Swiss stage is known as that format that gives you so many chances, but I feel like that's somewhat deceptive. I'm not sure if it actually gives you as much as people suggest it does, because getting into those X and 2 brackets can happen really fast, and once that pressure is applied and you, for example, have to win 3 series straight or even 2 series straight of high-level Rocket League of like-minded individuals, you start to realize very quickly that it's not quite the same circumstances as, say, for example, a round robin.
That is most definitely for sure. Now, gentlemen, we talked about heading into our first matchup here. Let's actually go ahead and talk about it a little bit. We got Chichester versus AP. It is on our 1-0 side of our bracket here. Now, as far as heading into things, Pegasus, I'm kind of curious what your thoughts of how things play out through the first game or two. Do we expect someone to really come out and take control, or we expect things to be more of that feeler out period for that first game?
It definitely could be a bit of a feeler out period, mostly due to it being that first series of the day. There can still be a little bit of nerves there to try and shake off of both these rosters, but they are in that comfortable spot in that 1-0 bracket. You could stay out the chase of Roehampton if you can get a win streak in a row as well. But for me, this AP team is very, very experienced. You see Peaky there on the roster, who's been in the scene for goodness knows how long at this point. I feel like that's going to really tip the scales here.
You said that the Chichester roster is one of those you thought could maybe potentially disrupt things here a little bit. Rhino, tell me a little bit as far as what you expect them to be bringing to the table. Then go ahead and hit us with a prediction if you think they're going to be walking away with a Dubsky on top here or not.
Well, asking me to go for the first prediction, that's a tough one. Look, Chichester have come in with a little bit of history, of course. They qualified in, I believe it was either qualifier 3 or 4. It was 3. And they went through unbeaten as well. They went through in the top side, beating one of the teams that are actually here, PXL, to get here. This is no slouch, absolutely. And what I expect to see Chichester do is try and utilize that feeling out period to their advantage. Try and put the pedal to the metal, if you like, really get in the face of AP. If they do that, I think they've got a chance. Unfortunately, I think experience will shine through. I've got AP for this one, but Chichester should give them a really good game.
All right, how are you feeling as far as the way this one plays out here? Pegasus, hit us with it.
AP was qual 1 and done. They're going to be these rounds and done. I expect a very quick game here. AP just to establish themselves off early.
Expecting it to be quick here for AP even. All right. Well, you know what? Yesterday we went with the desk sweep to get things started. How about we avoid that this time around? I'm going to spice things up. Let's go for the upset. Give me Chichester here. I do think that this is going to be one of those, kind of like you were expecting AP to wrap it up quick. I do feel like Chichester is going to have to wrap this up quick if they are going to come out on top. Otherwise, I do think that experience from AP will end up shining through. So it's definitely going to be interesting. We saw our only series yesterday be the only series in that first round that went 4. Hopefully we continue down this good group of strengths of having some nice picks here. But, well, fellas, you know what? Ain't no more time to talk about it. It is indeed. It's time to be about it. It's time to kick off Uni Rocketeers Spring 2026. Again, I guess, as it's round number 2 of Swiss, Chichester versus AP. I guess before we go in, I know you said quick. Do you think quick as well, Rhino, as far as series here?
No, I actually think this one goes the distance. Give me 5. I want to see a 5-game series to kick things off.
Give him a 5 and a 3 and a quick there, and Chichester for me. Well, fellas, we got 6 players, I do believe, that are ready to take to the pitch. We want to get day number 2 of Uni Rocketeers Spring 2026 kicked off, and it's time to do it right. It's Chichester versus AP. Pegasus, let's get down and do what it do.
The Swiss stage returns, and the only crashes will be demos. The only delays will be in kickoffs. Rising from the ashes once more, European Collegiate Rocket League can finally make it stand. Chichester versus AP feature on our screens to continue the day. To start us off in round 2, ladies and gentlemen, we have kickoff.
Still sticking on those best of 5s, a race to 3 wins, and the question is who's going to be able to come out here on the pitch in game number 1? and really be able to dictate the pace. It feels like there's the potential that this could really be a back and forth affair, but I feel like it's going to be more important for Chichester to come out here and set the tone in game number one. I feel like it's been back and forth through the first 20 seconds. Of course, I feel like early on in these games, number one, no one really wants to overextend too much, as these teams do seem to be just kind of keeping it nice and stale.
And we did have 2 Belgian schools, of course, qualify for this top 16. Unfortunately, one forced to forfeit. That had the likes of Badness on the roster. There's plenty of experience, there's plenty of talent coming from this region. It's nice to see them pick up their studies as well, but of course you want that further glory to come alongside it and to put yourself in a 2-0 bracket really early. But of course be a great sign for AP, but also the Belgian region as a whole, and what has been such a Germany and UK dominated scene for such a long time.
Really would love to put themselves up there knowing that they would just be one series away at that point, and not necessarily, I say, coast across the finish line, but I feel like once you've gotten the hard part done, that last series win, I know sometimes people can say the hardest, but I feel like when you come in and dominate the first 2 series, like they do try and to set up tone 2 here, could potentially make things easier, but it will be RRX who rises up. It felt like Chichester hasn't had too much pressure, but they will be the first ones to break the seal.
It's a gorgeous opportunity. Notices so much space on that back wall, and of course, he's not going to waste a chance when it comes. That's a way to open up your score. And I always say that the first goal is the hardest to score in a series. The first and the last, the longer you're in that goal drought, the deeper of a pit you've got to pull yourself out of. That's going to be AP's struggles for the remainder of this game, especially with that pressure piled on early. A pressure which increases here for Chichester.
First 100 seconds gone by, just the one lone goal pass upfield. That's a shot that's just a tad bit wide. Follow up, and it will be Flo who will be able to find the save off of that one. 2 great opportunities, but now all of a sudden it's counterattack the opposite way, and SM gets back just in the nick of time.
Krill stopped here by Peaky in the corner. Flo just wants to tip it out to some safety, but a teammate can pick it up. It's RX100 yet again. No sidewall reads this time. Krill dabbed off the pitch. Still RX stays involved. The inside pass is there, and the Chichester positioning has been extremely strong, but now it's Peaky back in possession. Has to find space inside. Krill won't let it happen.
Turn back on into the blue side here was AP, but only just but for a moment. And man, it just feels like, oh, hold on just a moment. I feel like I've gotten lost here. This is going to be crazy here. You got to give him just a moment. Thought there's a chance, but Krill still with the possession, looking for the pass on down, and I thought maybe there was a chance for a shot from just outside the box for Flo, but all of a sudden it's AP who's looking for the counterattack, but still struggling to get the clear.
I'm not sure if they heard the predictions, but so far Chichester playing with a bit of fire in their bellies. It's been a really good game one for them. I would go as far to say dominant as well. It stayed into this final half. Of course, they haven't had that many chances on net. AP have done well to at least siphon off their opponents into the sidewalls, but you do still need to pick up a bit of possession for yourself. On counter-attack at the moment is all they would need, but that could become a tougher task if Chichester find an opening. Peaky's found an opening, but Krill closes the gap fast.
Good look on the defense to be able to get there and get just enough of it to shut that one down. It's crazy to think that we've only seen 3 shots from this AP squad. Meanwhile, shot number 7 from Chichester will find the back of the net as RRX 100 will find their second one here and doubles down the lead.
Great way to make it 2 as well. Another really mechanical play to set it up already. We know what player we've got to look out for here on Chichester. RX 100 with so many mechanical plays attempted. Flo keeping it simple for you. Nice and low. The post will deny. And Krill will just leave this one for the third man. It's RX 100 yet again bumped off early. AP have learned their lesson. Do not allow this player any time on the ball, but there are still more tasks we're yet to see them find the answers for, and the first is certainly going to be grabbing that goal.
60 seconds to do so. Peaky will at least keep it alive down on this side, but RRX 100 is able to jump right on, gets a nose on it, and tries to quickly turn defense into offense. It will be shut down here by Eli, but not quite finding the clear. It just finds its way past the midfield line, but AP has to find a way to break it downfield better than that. One touch off the backboard, looks for a settling pass across, but I think it was Krill who was over there with him and already committed back to the defensive rotation. That's tough.
Oh, ball on the back wall though, AP. Got a chance to grab their first goal, but that ball goes high. There's Krill waiting on that waterfall. Peaky going to be able to steal this one for himself. Sees a man come off the ceiling. Is it going to get any follow-up touches? That's all left to his man in the corner. Flo still able to escape the action. Advances this to the final half, and already you're seeing a clear difference between Chichester and AP. It was a rather short burning attack for the Belgian side, and Chichester doing a much better job at just transitioning this defense to offense. It's another mechanical attempt from RRX to make it happen. With these seconds dwindling, game one is decided, and sheets stay clean for Chichester.
They look really, really solid on that Chichester side of the pitch. I mean, they were able to find a decent amount of pressure on the offensive side, but also doing a great job of just playing keep away from AP, limiting the amount of looks that they got. Only 4 shots over on the AP half, and none of them, as you mentioned, finding the back of the lace.
And it was 4, really, in the later stages of the game as well.
Yeah.
They started to pick up a bit of pace, a bit of a too little, too late kind of predicament they fell into their queue. But you said that Chichester had to make quick work of this team, otherwise they were going to struggle a little bit later down the line. And already there are small glimpses of that from AP, but overall that was completely Chichester dominated. They have hit the ground running. They've kept so much pressure in that opening stage, and they made sure that any defense they had to hold on to, it wasn't for long.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's like a worrisome loss in the sense for AP. I definitely think that there are things that you can look upon to maybe still be able to build to take a dub in game number 2. But yeah, it definitely just felt like Chichester had all of the answers over the course of the first 5 minutes. They came out, were able to control pressure, and even when it felt like AP was able to fight back a little bit, it just didn't seem like they had quite the recipe for success. The good news for AP is, well, now we're going to roll those scores back to 0. We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock, and we'll get down and do what it do with game 2.
It's a great baseline shown by Chichester. It's AP that are forced to raise the level. That pinch will raise the level. Eli trying to make the most of a verticality. Krill's there with a block. Flow sends it long immediately, but now this is going to be a 2-man passing play attempted. RX won't allow it to happen already. Seeing a lot more of an offensive threat coming from AP. It's only been 30 seconds.
Only 30 seconds, but there's plenty we're talking about for them to be able to put on, and we're not surprised at the type of pressure that they were able to find, right? I mean, I feel like we saw from both teams, even if it was flashes from AP, granted it was very small glimpses, but both teams, they won their first series for a reason. They were able to qualify through even just to get to Swiss stages for reasons. About being able to lock in and turn it in here today. Krill in the corner will lose the control to Peaky, who will find this pinch, looks for the shot forward. Flow required for the save. Now it's going to be up to Chichester to try and find a way to flip this field.
Oh, Flovo, that's not a great touch, and Eli has a pre-jumping Peaky again, going for some of those 1-2 plays just outside the box. Krill keeps it low, though, and within control as well. Wastes time just to get that flick off, lures in his man, and now it was just Eli to hold. It was a great job made of that position. Able to stamp it down quick. Clear out to the wings, Krill. That pop shot, not going to challenge Peaky too hard. The follow-up 50 was where all the opportunities lie, but Belgian able to see through the play. It's Eli yet again, but Chichester once more have been able to pile on the pressure. It's just AP just getting closer to making that final step.
They do feel like they've slowly been walking this thing down the field and been getting more and more control in game number 2, that's for sure. I mean, a stark difference, 5 shots already over the course of the first 2 minutes, as opposed to the 4 all throughout the duration of game number 1. The Belgians definitely seem to have started to catch their stride. I even like seeing the teamwork along the left side to try to advance the ball up the field, although unfortunately losing the handle, but they still have the possession. Down on this side, there's a chance for them to try and at least find a way to break the top off of this defense.
Oh.
Eli coming in, and that's a huge swing and miss.
Krill 50s off with Peaky. Second man chase was won by Flow. I'm not sure if 50 was the correct plan now. RRX instead just going to try and fight his way through the entire team. There's a miss there at the front post. And Flow is able to poach away the open opportunity, but once more it's a goal contribution for RRX 100.
You can see Flo creeping in from the corner and just lurking in the shadows, waiting to see where that rebound's going to come out at, and pounces, able to drill that thing into the back of the net just as we approach the midway point here in game number 2. AP need to find a quick response. That shot will be wide. SM with a chance here, though, as they'll rise up looking for the second touch. Will be shut down, and now it's Krill who will look to exit out of the blue half. Eli bats that one away, finds a bump onto Flo, but Flo with a huge pitch will send the ball back towards midfield.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
Wow.
Flo will receive. That's how you transition a defense. AP, you're all students, so you should know how to take notes. That double tap coming out so nicely, and Flo knows how to read his teammate. It's been positional excellence throughout the entirety of this series. And it doesn't look like they're going to slow down anytime soon. RX100 keeps the foot on the accelerator. It's Flo to complete his hat trick.
The Hats hit the pitch here in game number 2 as the offense is flowing here for Chichester. 3 in a row, and while you can sit here and look back as a fan of AP and go, yeah, minute 57, plenty of time to find 3, they've got to find the first sooner rather than later.
Off that backboard, though. Gotta make that read. Chichester is able to pull it off. Krill has been given a bit more space in front of him. Flo, though, as Orange Lava are all in front. RX100 will try and cushion this one to safety. The pinches are going to be enough. Doesn't reach Peaky. Gets that first block, but again, there's just no one there on a second man press to beat a Chichester player. And you'd expect a higher level of urgency with 90 seconds left on the clock and a potential second game in a row picked up by Chichester. And I hate to even tempt the idea queue, but as it stands, Chichester are on their way to a perfect sweep.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking really dominant out there on the field. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even in game number 2, where they have gotten more opportunities down the blue side of the net, still just haven't really gotten very many memorable looks. Meanwhile, Chichester's now found a 4th. It just feels like they continue to pick up momentum.
But I think a big factor here, no goal going unassisted from Chichester in this second game. This is a team that is playing like one streamlined unit. And so far for me, AP have been playing like 3 individuals. The positioning doesn't seem to be aware of where those 50s are going to lay off. It feels like every man for themselves. You see moments where multiple players defensively are covering that same area on the goal line. You don't see that same dispersion that Chichester had. They've had a few attempts at these 1-2 passing plays, but they all feel just a bit too orchestrated for my liking and sprinkled in certain moments as a part of being part of their natural rotation.
For AP, you'd hope to just find something, anything to be able to carry upon into game number 2, and now at this point it's desperation time. You have one more look down on this blue half, and while sure it really would be nothing more than a cosmetic goal in retrospect, at least the one would make you feel like, hey, we've got something, because man, Chichester has been able to come out here and absolutely stifle this AP offense, and now they're going to have all but 60 seconds to try and figure out a game plan in order to win back to back to back if they don't want to go down to that 1-1 side of the bracket.
Tell you what, Q, my prediction's looking half correct. This certainly looks like a series that could be over fast, but it has been Chichester that have taken this completely by storm. And it's just because it feels like that 3-man effort. There is a huge difference here in just both of these teams' coordination. I've loved the way they have orchestrated every single attack. And you spoke about the chances that AP have had, and when you look at the stats, supposedly they're there. Did that really feel like 7 shots of action for you? Can you think back to maybe 3 of them, Q? I challenge you. Just 3.
Yeah, I mean, even when they had the 5 early, it felt like they had some pressure in the first minute. But then after that, I really don't remember much from the offense at all. And that's a really tough point to find yourself at here now, because that's now back-to-back games where, for the most part, you've been on your back foot. You've been on your back line, and now you've got to hit basically a complete 180 and do that for 15 minutes.
What do you even do here, Q? Is this a complete reset of a mental? I mean, you haven't even scored yet. You haven't even scored. Is there even a positive to bring out of those last two games? I would say it was a bit more two-sided in the second, but, you know, going from 5% 95 to 10% 90 isn't exactly much of an improvement in a vacuum.
This is, I feel like, one of those situations where you really do just kind of have to go all in. And where maybe before you felt like, hey, we got to settle in and try and focus on like the counterattack because Chichester has been down in our half a lot. Yeah, maybe. Now this is where you just got to start full sending and start putting some people into respawns. I'm always a big fan of the Kabluis, Kablamos, and Whammos. You talked about how last game, or really last two, we've seen a lot of assists. RRX was the one with the hat trick in game 1. They're the one facilitating game number 2. That's who I'm headhunting here in game 3.
So dynamic and can adjust his play style dependent on what the opponents throw out for him. Again, looking for that playmaker role. And Flow once more will be the goal scorer for Chichester. This one has all 3 players involved. Got 2 of the surfaces there as well to beat 2 defenders. Chichester are flying in the Swiss.
They have hit the ground running, and it's been like a train on the tracks. Now it's going to be up to AP to try and find some way to bring it to a screeching halt, and it's hard when the train gets going full momentum here. It feels like you cannot allow a multi-goal deficit the same way that you have in games 1 and 2. You have to find a way to hold the line.
Oh, Krill has that block on the final lines, and you can already feel Chichester. They have a style where they're never going to sit back once they picked up that lead. It's all extending, burying your team as deep in the dirt as possible. But that should give AP some counter-attacking opportunities. That's a bail away coming from SM. Peaky will take the final spot. RX 100 call to action after the first man was beat. It's that double padlock consistency from Chichester, which has consistently made them such a tough nut to crack. It's Eli back in his own corner, and there doesn't seem to be a clear path of escape. That pinch could have been a blessing in disguise, but Chichester are just able to get there first. It's a pass yet again between RX 100 and Krill. It's creative, but AP can see through that one.
I love the idea, the give and go, but just doesn't quite work out that time. Krill, though, says, give it to me and watch me work, baby, as it's Flow hooks him up with a nice pass towards the middle. Krill settles it down by themselves from there. It's a touch past one, a wide open net, and when the biscuit's in front of the basket, it's going to be good eats each and every time.
That is intelligent from Krill to immediately send that off that back wall. He knew he was going to go for that self-setup. It's going to be all him yet again on that right wall. This time is blocked. Peaky throws it up high. Flow gets the first block out, but AP still looking for their first goal, by the way, Q. I mentioned the perfect sweep in the game beforehand, and with 5 minutes more of action, I thought that could perhaps be a pipe dream. Every single second that passes, that's becoming closer to reality.
Chance here if they set it deep down and Flow mishandles this off the backboard, but Flow has been pretty stone cold. They've been doing a phenomenal job of being able to keep things close to the chest, and really this Chichester roster as a whole has been no different. 2:15 left on the clock if they're looking to try and complete that perfect sweep, and we've seen them for a majority of game number 3 in the similar fashion to games 1 and 2, where they've just been coming out here and controlling the pace here, Pig.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just been one team that has clearly been better for 3 games in a row, and unfortunately not too much nuance past that. Still really waiting for AP to enter the competition today, and when you have what looks to be such a tough 1-1 to drop into, that increases what is already quite a dire spot for both of these teams to fall into. SM throws it high. Peaky's got a free backboard, but not enough power. Allows Flow to just recover in time, get that first clearance, calls in for the second, but there is a second man commit alongside it. Now just one to block through, but SM is completely read by RX 100.
Krill should be able to find the clear off the back of this as well. Remember, for Chichester, every trip down this side is time off the clock, but RRX will rise up and complete the team hat trick. All 3 players getting 1 to their name here in game number 3, as it truly is a 3-headed Hydra.
And yet again, Chichester don't know how to step off the accelerator. They've come in here quick, looking to get work done, looking to create a statement as well, especially with maybe the harsher words some of us said here on the desk. I'm not pointing any fingers. SM locked down by Krill once more. AP just looking for space outside of their half at this point, because Chichester still not allowing it to happen. RX100 takes over the last man that was in the offense. There's 2 chasing down Eli, but Devil lands. The second wasn't even required. And he just gets to walk that one home. It's a victory lap. It's a song and a dance. But for AP, this has got to feel horrible.
Oh, but it's gotta feel so good if you're RRX. You take the control, both teammates in front of you leading away, making sure you can get it across the goal line, solidifying a 4-goal lead, and now these final 40 seconds here, Pig, get to turn into nothing short of a victory lap for the Chichester squad, who has been able to come out and control the pace from the word go. And while maybe the perfect sweep is no longer on the table, they've still been dominant through all 3.
Yeah, they'll be happy at the very least to have something going their favor there. Can't say they got perfect sweep, but still 1 goal out of 3. It's not going to be a record they want to be known by. Flo from the corner wants to whip across. Peaky unable to escape. There's RRX on 100 waiting. There's not much boost for tank, but it's going to be enough to set up Krill. Gets that block. Flo off the corner. 15 seconds still stand. AP can finally wake up from this nightmare. Chichester, as much as they'd like to see this stream continue, they're going to have to earn their return in the 2-0 stage. What a promising team they are looking like.
Well, we asked the question going into the day, how hard it would be for all of our teams that walked in with a dub yesterday in the 1 round to be able to pick up from that and, well, basically get back onto the same hot streak. For Chichester, they've had no problem, only surrendering 1 goal. I think they were the ones who had a majority of both the field domination and ball possession throughout all 3 games. I mean, really controlling both sides of the field here, Pig.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. You don't come so close to a perfect sweep without having a series of pure, unfiltered dominance. That's what we got to see, and this feels like it could be a team we should be looking out for in the later stages of not only the Swiss stage, but the playoffs as well. This is going to be a team that's going to continue to be very exciting if they can allow this form to continue. And who knows, maybe there's going to be a shock result, an upset waiting later down the line. It could even happen as early as the next hour and a half in that 2-0.
Who's to say what unfolds here throughout the course of the day, man? I feel like we've had 2 phenomenal series between the one yesterday and this one here. I do wish we could have gotten to see a couple more games, but hey, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The good news is we do still have plenty more Rocket League on the day here, Pig. We've gotten through round 2 of Swiss. We still have 3 more rounds of Swiss to get through. I think we still have a couple of more games that'll have to wrap up before we can move into that 3rd round. So maybe just a couple of minutes on a break. Maybe a good time to grab yourself a quick drink, maybe a quick schnickety snack. But on the other side of our break here, we will have our 3rd round of action. We'll be starting to secure people into that playoff bracket basically from here on out. The flip side to that, Pig, is that I was going to say means that we're going to be, it does mean that we are going to be sending people home. I guess not the case in round 3, but eventually starting to send people home as well. But we appreciate y'all. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be back with round number 3 here in a minute.
Get it while it's hot.
I don't know why I let you, but you have too loud a spark in me. mind. You will be on my mind. You will be on my mind. Wanna forget what you feel like when you feel like. Don't wanna forget what you feel like when you feel like. Tell me somebody how long he will be on my mind. He will be on my mind. On my mind. You will be on my mind.
Won't you come over? Dying to know where you came from. We're breaking open. Feel like our future's just begun. And all I know is that we lost time. If we stay right here, we could free ourselves inside. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's work together. Just lead me into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together on our own. Just lead me into your world. Waiting for no one. We're headed straight up for the sun. They'll never notice. We'll take these cities on our own. And all I know is that we lost time. If we stay right here, we could free ourselves inside. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together. Just lead me into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together on our own. your world. Into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away when no one knows. Let's run away together on our own. Just lead me into your world.
Well, I think most people were kind of expecting AP to come out on top of that last series. Chichester came out and turned things up from the get-go. 3 straight games. They're advancing to the 2-0 side of the bracket. And as we do get ready for round 3 of Swiss, that's the fun part because now we get to start sending teams off to the playoff bracket and setting up the field for our top 8. We know that we've got at least 2 teams that are going to be advancing through this first round up on screen. And well, our first matchup here should be interesting. Dr. Bowman versus Arcata. We'll talk more about in depth in a moment. But I think first, we'll go ahead and take a quick look at this bracket for Swiss and see how things have broken down through 2 rounds. And I guess first question to you, Rhino, is what stands out to you here?
Initially is going to be the Southampton storyline. Of the they are 2-1 and going very well, and you might think that's confusing based on the fact we haven't even played round 3 yet. Well, 2 forfeit victories in those 2 games that they have won, one against Roehampton in the first round and one against Loughborough in the 1-on-1. So hey, 2 chances to qualify from those 2-on-1 brackets. That's going to be a good position for them to find themselves in. As for the rest, it's interesting that we get to see 2 UK teams going up against each other versus 2 German teams going up against each other for the 2-0s, guaranteed to be a German and a UK team in the playoffs next week already after round 3, which is pretty exciting.
Here for you, Pig, as far as looking through first 2 rounds, of course, we already have 2 teams eliminated. We talked about that earlier, so we won't really focus on the bottom half of the bracket. But, I mean, what is it for you that really was catching your eye?
Well, of course, both the PXL and Arcata games from that 1-0 round are definitely interesting options. I mean, completely sweeping down Birmingham is such an impressive result in of itself. PXL going to game 5 against Dr. Boomin is really good for them. So they got that first round forfeit win just gifted to them. They thought luck is on our side. We have to play Dr. Boomin in a 1-0. Okay, whatever. Maybe our seeding. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Now having to play Roehampton in the 1-0 and getting those 2 teams back to back is a pretty brutal spot for them to have to sit in.
Yeah, definitely a brutal spot indeed. Let's go ahead and move actually into what we got on screen here next. It is that Dr. Boomin versus Arcata matchup. You were just talking about it. This Dr. Boomin squad put to the test in round number 2 because I feel like coming into things, they were seen as one of the 2 squads that were kind of expected to get through 3-0. Do you think that result from round number 2 changes that dynamic at all for you?
It definitely does for me because, of course, we didn't watch that series. We don't know if Dr. Boomin were not having the greatest of days or if PXL was popping off. Ultimately, them getting the job done in the first place is a positive point on their part because even when they're struggling, they're still able to pull out those vital results, which, by the way, doesn't matter how you do it in the BU system. It's just whether you win or lose. But now you're playing a team like Arcata, which has such impeccable names on the roster, Trask, Alexa, and Yoli. It's an even bigger test than before, especially when you put in the context of that last matchup.
Well, Arcata was one of the rosters that you said you were keeping an eye on here, Rhino, and now they have a chance to go up against one of the teams that have, definitely a long history. I mean, you talk about a roster that, came in with a lot of notoriety. What do you think the game plan has to be for Arcata here to take down this Dr. Boomin squad?
Oh, I think it's the situation is going to be very simple. It's play your game. It clearly works. The way that Arcata have been playing today already, as we've mentioned, taking down Birmingham, is they're not a pushover team in the slightest. Winning that game in a sweep already proves to me that Arcata have woken up today and chosen violence. They definitely want to get in the lobby and get some demos under their belt and start getting some goals behind them as well. I think if they match Dr. Boomin's speed, just based on the fact that they've already had to go to 5 games, Dr. Boomin today, I think they'll be able to see it out, and I think it's just a matter of play your game. Know what you want to do.
Well, is it going to be enough today to take them down? Let's go ahead and hit some predictions here, Rhino.
I think it is. I'm gonna stand with the Finnish side. I think Arcata take it. I think it might be a 4-game series.
4 games, giving them Arcata. Are you rolling with that as well, or are you going with the tried and true here, Pip?
I hate to stand away from what is essentially collegiate royalty, but I have to do it. I've got a bit of love for the Finns, I can't lie. I'm going to go Arcada to pick up this series, but this is going to be a close one. This might be a second Game 5 in a row for the Boomin.
Yeah, I do feel like this has the potential to send us off to 5. If it goes 5, they've already shown that they can clutch up in a game number 5. So go ahead and give me Dr. Bowman here. Go ahead and avoid the death sweep, I guess, as well. Yeah. I mean, they've got the experience in the past. I mean, they've got players on this roster who know how to win when it matters the most. So I guess really at this point here, we kind of just got to see how quick it's going to be, right? I feel like with the fact that you guys mentioned Arcada had that sweep on Birmingham, if they can come out here and put Dr. Bowman on the back foot, there's a chance they could very well do it against them as well. A kind of similar fact, I guess you could say, to my prediction in round number 2. A game prediction, I don't think I got one from you, Pig.
Oh, game prediction. If I'm going for an Arcada win, I think it just has to be 5. It has to go the full distance. This is a case of Dr. Booman absolutely taking it, and this is going to be a quick 3-0, or Arcada are going to come back with that same bite.
And you said 5, I think, right? Is that right?
I said 4.
Right now?
I'm going 4.
Oh, you said 4. All right. I think I'm going to go with 5 on Bowman because I do think they've already shown the 5. But it's time to go ahead and start qualifying teams for playoff here, boys. It's time to see if Dr. Bowman, who was once seen as a favorite as one of our teams to get through 3-0, I mean, history, prestige. Let's see if PXL have the ability to sweep their way through Swiss. Let's go ahead and get down and do what it do.
Hugh has already proven that he has more ball knowledge than myself and Pegasus today by getting the first prediction of the day correct. But will he get the second one right? He goes with EU royalty in the sense of Dr. Booman, but Arcada, the new kids on the block in a way in this particular matchup, looking to ruffle some feathers, Pegasus. Let's see who takes home game 1.
Well, this was the team so good that it ended up wiping European Collegiates off the map for the time being. Enjoy. Zedo and Green gonna round off that Boomin roster, and this isn't... there is no such thing as a bigger test for Arcada in this 2-0 stage. You could argue, of course, for Hampton, but there was no chance they were going to make it here at this point due to that forfeit they had in day 1. So we'll have to see if they can step up to that mark. The appointment has been booked, and the doctor is here to see them.
Yeah, Pindroy looking to move this one forwards, and I think there's no bigger statement to make in this particular event than beating Dr. Booman, or at least taking them the distance as previously done, and that's why Pindroy finds the top right-hand corner to get the Germans into the lead.
Very early start, and it's a wonderful layoff there from Green to make it happen. Pindroy had one simple task. He had to blast it. He had to find some space. You couldn't ask for that one. Better tucked away. And that's the expectation that should be there for Boomin. It's not just about their individual efforts, but these are 3 players that have played together now for quite some time. And that extends past the collegiate scene as well. I know that they like to play in the likes of a few bubble tournaments together. Of course, they've had some time together in the RLCS stages as well. So this is more tried and tested than most other traditional collegiate teams.
Yeah, it certainly is. Oh, no! Well, there's a malfunction at the junction there. As this one comes off the backboard, Yoli's going to be credited for this touch, but it's not his goal. Zedo should really have been able to clear that. Green not ready for his teammate to miss it on the backboard. Arcada gifted an equalizer.
We had that conversation before we moved over. What happened in Dr. Booman versus PXL? We might get our answers very soon, dependent on how Booman are able to play. The post will deny the first chance. Second one made a lot easier for Zedo, who did well to recover himself. Stopped dead in his tracks, just in front of that goal line spot. As tucked away for the second. Quick response coming in from the Germans, but I'm sure the Finns will have something to say about it. 3 goals in under 1.5 minutes. A chance for this to be a high scorer.
I hope you're all sitting comfortably. We're not leaving this series for a while, I reckon. As now Trask comes off that backboard, sent away by Zedo, and actually there's a 3-on-1 here. Pindroy looking for the top corner, but not enough damage done on the back line to prevent the goal. Now Trask brings this one down the right side. Lexa gets it clear. Trask meets his man off the backboard. Not really marked, but Zedo still gets a touch to send it away. That is on target. Trask does really well to track back.
Zedo's turn to pounce. And we'll have this alone in the corner. Has Pindro as a passing option. Yoli did well to block it. Puts his back towards the goal. Rotates himself back round and now available for the clear. It's intelligent defending coming from Arcada. They need to push it that extra step now. Zedo's not going to let it happen. Maintains possession in his own half. Takes to the skies. Lexa will be there to match him. Pindro can't see over his shoulder. Allows his teammates to do all the calling for him. And he manages to weasel his way back towards that right wall. It's a slow, improving position for Dr. Boomin. Now might be their time to strike. But the Snakes stay hidden in the grass. And Arcada are on lookouts.
Yeah, but Trask has really won a big 50 there. Just doesn't get the boost that he was looking for, which means it's difficult for Arcada to push forwards. Unfortunate on that one. Will now take the 100, but gets stuffed by Green. Now Lexa, left side. Looking now for a teammate to help out. Good communication in the end between Trask and Yoli, and they will be able to break free because of it. Yoli on the right side. Gets the boost steal, but nothing more. Demo onto Pindroy. A boost steal further down the field. There's stuff happening on every single blade of grass on this pitch, Pegasus. It's difficult to keep up with.
There's two universities of applied sciences, and you're seeing them get experimental already in the first game of the day. How's that from Zedo? An intelligent mind game for what has been a team game from Dr. Boomin. Zedo decides to deviate. It's off that back wall. There's no defense there to reach, and he'll happily take away that second touch.
That is gorgeous, and I'm starting to get the feeling, Pegasus, that PXL might be dark horses if they were able to take this Dr. Boomin side playing this well to a game number 5. Arcada just not up to the task just yet, and Green will strike into the heart of the Finnish net with a minute and a half to go. Zedo with the setup. Trask didn't have enough boost to make that block on the backboard. Tried to wait it out. Just didn't work between himself and Lexa. 4-1.
And it might sound crazy here, but Dr. Boomin, I would say, actually had a slow start to this game. They didn't look great in those first 45 seconds, gave Arcada chances, of course, had their own goal. Some of those double commits were seeping into their play as well. But they've made sure to settle into this series rather quickly. But for the remainder of this game, it's all been them. A chance to change now for Arcada. But Trask's shot is blocked. Lexa will try and set up once more. Trask has to get back involved in the action. There's no goal-scoring opportunity. Open its space, though. Instead, Pindroy had a much better chance. Wanted to boom it off that back wall for a second man chasing. Instead, it was straight towards a play. The crossbar will deny that chance away. Arcada not forced to use any of their boost to defend that one out. And that took a fair bit of bravery to stay rooted to their sports. A known goal almost responded there from Arcada. But it looks like Dr. Boomin are going to do it all themselves. Trask doesn't let it happen.
Big bump onto Pindroy. Sends him up to the sidewall. Now Yoli trying to move forwards. That's off the backboard. It's out into no man's land, and well, it's actually going to be Arcada's land. Lexa gets Bonnet to ball, and that will nestle just under the crossbar. 25 seconds to find 2 goals. Improbable, but not impossible.
Trask not going to be credited with a goal contribution there, but that bump worked wonders for them in that offense. It's truly 3-man requirements to try and beat down a Dr. Boomin defense. Jolly looks to be the first here. Lexa, great control. Mind games to get space on that sidewall. Forces in the second man. 1 man beats 2. This should lead to an outnumbering. And Yoli had another teammate right behind him. Was good enough to get the job done himself. Now there's going to be some game plans on witchcraft at play for this final kickoff.
It was already a really defensive kickoff from Dr. Boomin on the last time. So now, how are they going to approach this? They're able to win the kickoff, and there is no one there from Arcada to capitalize on it, which is going to lead to big problems. The waterfall! Well, if there were questions, there are none now. Zedo puts the exclamation point on game 1.
Gets himself a hat-trick for the Troubles as well. It's a lovely little tuck away to get the job done for Dr. Boomin. Should be no questions now. Who's going to take this first game away? Not sure. If it was the game we expected though, Rhino, sure the score sheet says it's close, but for a majority of that time, it did feel like all Dr. Boomin.
It did, yes, but I think the thing to look at really is the fact that Arcada were able to get into it in the later stages of the game.
Yes.
And maybe there is an element of warming up from the side of Arcada. They, of course, had a very tough game against Birmingham. They beat them 3-0. But that kind of means that they've had a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a break in between periods of play, in between round 2 and round 3. Whereas now, Dr. Boomin obviously playing that 5-game series, they've come in pretty fresh. They didn't have to go into free play and practice for a little bit in between games. Maybe that has worked in their favor, but now Arcada, towards the end of that game, were definitely starting to get their feet back under them and understanding the play and understanding how to stop Dr. Boomin.
There was definitely a settling in period for both of these teams, but what a big difference there for me was, Rhino, for Dr. Boomin, it seemingly took 45 seconds. For Arcada, I would say it took closer to 3 minutes for them to really start taking that game back in their favor. And we said that if it was going to be Arcada, you said game 4, I said game 5. We're very aware that this could be a series that could end in a sweep for Dr. Boomin, but no one had that same confidence going for Arcada. And that first game where the quality was really shown quick out the gate was the exact reason why Trask, though, can open up the second. I said it took them 3 minutes. Already we enter the 6th.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking for that quality right off the bat. There it is. Arcada making the point now that they are warmed up, they're ready to play, they're ready to go, and another kickoff victory for the Finns. Yoli will leave that one at the angle. Lexa just can't find the conversion. Difficult angle to shoot from, certainly, but good confidence on show that he was even able to, and willing to go for that.
Trask keeps it close in that corner. Zedo will cut the gaps. Yoli has to try and find a way out of escape. Lexa was there close. Yoli has a lot of work cut out for him there, especially with Green already so close to possession. There was low boost for Tank, so Zedo will take it over for himself. 2 touches. Will keep it in that final corner. Lexa doesn't get the finest of touches. It's going to be enough, though, to find Arcada men. A very interesting stat in that last game. 56% field domination for Dr. Boomin, but 51-49% into possession. Arcada not scared to just pass it around in their own half, in their own box, and really wait to buy their time into this final third. Lexa has earned himself that space, but no one had any faith that Dr. Boomin were going to let that one go post to post.
It's a great cross. There's just no one there. The second man a little bit too far back. That means that Dr. Boomin have an easy clear. And now Zedo, oh my goodness, the standout from game number 1 continues with that form in game number 2 off that right-hand side. Just gets a little extra touch, which discombobulates the defense. Green finishes off 1-1.
And nowadays, everyone has mechanics as well, Ryan. When you see him coming up on that right wall, you know he's got that pre-flip available. You don't know if he's going to go for that flip reset. You don't know if he's going to go for that dribble or the layoff pass. And it left Arcada defensively completely frozen. But already, that extra bit of information from the comms that Dr. Boomin had paid dividends in that moment. And now with him back in the game, you know that at any point they can just steal it back. Lexavo on a half turn, able to beat past Pinjoy. He's going to go for corner. Not going to be any real goal scoring opportunities out early, and Green will make sure that they never come, because it's Zedo back into that opposite side. Wanted a bump against Lexa, doesn't land it. Pinjoy will take it over. Yoli will attack quick, but Trask was there to sweep up the danger.
I feel like the Arcada press is a little bit disjointed. It often feels that one player is pressing Dr. Boomin, trying to get that defensive play further up the field, but they're not being supported by their teammates. So Dr. Boomin are able to get beyond that one pressing man, and then they still have space and time and boost to be able to get beyond the 2 that are a little bit further back. Just need to make that a little bit tighter for me, do the finish side, if they are going to be able to get a result here. And double commit in the midfield isn't going to help things either. Zedo, right-hand side, looking to get beyond 2 once again. Just makes it look so easy, doesn't he? And now the collection, the extra touch, bottom right corner. Gonna go wide. Pinjoy for the pass, though. Green's in position. Team play and then some.
Tricky footwork. Close quarter control. Arcada just cannot keep up. It's a great downfield pass there from Pindroy to stamp it on his own player and eventually stamp that second goal on the goal sheet. But for Arcada, now it's time to make your own gameplay. Establish your own footing. Dr. Boomin are not a team to play around. They're a team to snatch the controller off of. Otherwise they will just be gifted those few beats ahead. Pindroy lands out fake against Yoli, but a pre-jump is going to be enough for him to get that follow-up bump. Arcada now made a bit of escape, but again, it's siphoned off to those corners. Dr. Boomin challenge early. Trask is there with a beat, but Pindroy up so fast to get that clearance. It's going to be Green back in that corner. Yoli making that stop. Zedo failing for that read. Lexa has a man to chase, but no boost of a tank to really reach them. So that's going to be a reset once again from Arcada, perhaps from kick-off positions. Had to wait a few seconds, but Green is go.
And the Austrian continues to make his presence felt. 3 goals in game 2. He has been that goal scorer that they've so desperately needed. And with a minute and a half to play, Arcada 2 goals off the pace. Dr. Boomin going to be wondering where this performance was in round 2 for themselves. Arcada, on the other hand, are going to be wondering what's going wrong. They're just not able to bring things together the way that Dr. Boomin are able to see every potential danger coming forwards at them from the Finns. Just makes it so difficult to get past. They will try again. Arcada, Lexa, no, Pindroy saving.
And he will follow up as well. Lays it off nicely to Green. Catches himself on that right wall, but with low boost for tank. He's going to have to take it low yet again. Trask, though, still underestimating the extra touch that Boomin are always able to add to their plays. And that leaves a few seconds more to dwindle. More time spent as well for those mistakes to seep into the play. And if you give Dr. Boomin a gap, they'll make sure to stretch it open quick. Self set up pass, 50s across. Pindroy's there. It's a great shot, but an even better save from Trask.
Yeah, exceptional save there coming out from the Finns, but ball is in the wrong half of the field from their perspective. Really got to try and get some attack, but when the German side are just keeping you in this half, making it difficult to escape, Yoli has to find something from nothing. And he will get the boost steal, but it won't matter because he'll be sent to the Shadow Realm. With 10 seconds remaining, 2 goals to find. Dr. Boomin are on qualification point.
And this is definitely an outcome that we saw as a potential. Dr. Boomin controlling the game entirely within their hands. That second game, if anything, felt like it was a bit more of their game. There was that early start yet again coming from Arcada. But the main difference between game 1 and game 2, Rhino, is they didn't have that final kick in the last 2 minutes like we saw beforehand. Boomin established themselves, they remained consistent, and once that momentum was flowing, it was a very hard train to try and derail.
Yeah, nigh on impossible. They just couldn't do it, could they, Arcada, at that point? And even after they gave themselves that 1-0 lead and there's something to build on there, you know, whether you consider kickoff goals very much or not as far as momentum shifts go, there was an opportunity to be able to at least settle into the game and take it to Dr. Boomin. They just weren't able to do that. And in the end, with the quality that you have on the Dr. Boomin side, they will always be able to stay in a game and turn it around. And that's exactly what they've done there. And my concern right now, Pegasus, is that, well, Hugh is going to be sat there on potentially 2 correct predictions, and we might have 0 by the end of this series. That is devastating.
I know. As the only non-European as well, that's going to be a pretty tough pill to swallow. But that's for a little bit later down the line. Instead, we've got potentially the last 5 minutes of this series still to play. It's up to Arcada to change that, and it's another question that's just on my lips, Rhino. But first, Green will get us started. First goal for Dr. Boomin. Didn't have to wait for long this time.
Hat-trick hero in game number 2. Opens his account early in game 3. The German side on Neo Tokyo looking to just close this one out. No extra games, no pomp and circumstance necessary. Arcada well, they're going to have to fight tooth and nail to be able to not only get themselves back into this game, but to slow down the momentum that Dr. Boomin have found themselves with.
You want to give that love to the likes of PXL for holding it so closely against Dr. Boomin. But the story's certainly not written yet for Arcada. That is an excellent pass coming from Lexa. Yoli gets the job done. And of course, Trask is going for that bump on the goal line. It's well coordinated in that brief moment. But we're still looking for that consistency. And if you want to talk about consistency in the collegiate scene, Roehampton have arrived. They played their first series off a day. They forfeited out of round 1. They got a forfeit in round 2. They have swept that on-form PXL side. That took Boomin to 5.
Really? That is a team that you do not want to be playing in the 2-1 bracket. Like, you're looking at that going, oh no, really? That's not a nice one in the slightest. But maybe that one of these two teams actually does have to concern themselves with that. For now, either team will be thinking about it. Dr. Boomin will be just trying to get this game over the line, get out of this series as soon as you can. Arcada, well, they've got designs on the reverse sweep. They are level at this moment, able to get themselves back in this game, and that goal that they were able to get in regulation was definitely solid. Fantastic save by Trask. He's always the man who seems to be called upon on defense. It might not matter now. He's there again. Calling the brick wall. 1-1 still.
Off that back wall again. Going to be Lexa to hold it tight. Still looking for that outlet option. Green not going to let it happen. Trask, though, still able to get a wheel to it. Not going to be enough to stop the follow-up man on Boomin. They hold it down in the corner. They take control. They sweep it back forward already. Found that dangerous central space. Now any clearance from Trask should be pounced upon quickly. Didn't expect it to be from Green yet again. Still unrelenting from Green. Pinjoy's going to be the player across this time. Chance for the double. It lands. That's pure quality.
And you know what? As soon as Pinjoy puts this one on the backboard and there's no defense, you see Green going beyond because he knows what's about to happen as well. So does everyone else in the lobby. It's a fantastic finish from Pinjoy. Lovely double. Just hits it so that it goes under the bar, still halfway inside the goal. Makes it really difficult to save. Oh, the demo not coming through there. Really needed that, did Arcada, to come through. It would have been an easy finish if it was the case. Going to happen on this occasion. Now Lexa, the last man back, gets the better of Pinjoy and Yoli. Not a lot of resource to try and bring this one away, so Trask will be next up. Gets immediately stuffed by Green, cleared away by Lexa. An extra touch from Trask would be ideal, doesn't get it though.
Lexa is cut off by Green yet again. Pinjoy just fair to receive, and you see this every single time. You see that early cut in rotation coming from Dr. Boomin. And it's already been coordinated with the rest of the team, but that's where the rotations are going to lie. There's always someone there to pick up from all of those pieces. So they're not just isolated incidents. They're just a piece in the puzzle that is the very complicated offenses. Simplicity played by Trask just to get that flick inside. No one's there to reach. Zedo gets 2 touches on that sidewall. Can wall dash himself back into the attack. No bumps land, however. That's per usual. Dr. Boomin, do not give too much space on the ball. Trask, it's temporary. Zedo closes down.
Yeah, and I didn't really like Lexa coming through there as a second man, just trying to get involved in that play. It looks a bit like a double commit. I understand where it's come from, but it's not time for panic stations just yet. Still over 90 seconds to play. Just not sure that was the move at that moment. Now Lexa takes this ball forwards, takes a shot, cleared away by Pinjoy, but 100 boost Trask is going to be difficult to get beyond, and does push that ball over to the far corner, but a lovely double off that sidewall sends Dr. Boomin back towards the Arcada half. That pass is a little too strong. Lexa will collect. Looking to move over to this right side. A fair bit of boost to work with, but that ball just bounces a little too high for Lexa to deal with. And now Dr. Boomin try and move the other way. Yoli's back to make the block.
That tone is heard in the ears of Arcada. 1 minute still to stand. Only 1 goal required to push this one into an OT. It doesn't matter the amount of your opportunities. You've just got to take it when it comes. Yoli might have just created one with the 50. Goes low with Lexa, but Pinjoy Already had it cut out of high. Lex's 50 will fall right back, but Zeno's going to have a full tank of boost, and he has the mechanics to go alone. Yoli's been interrupted as well, and what was supposed to be an early challenge. Already you can see that time cut down to half. Arcada, the desperation is really going to be flowing, especially when Zeno adds another on your head top.
Yeah, it's a good clear, but that just extra touch once again from Zeno really confuses Arcada. There's no one back because you've got to push your resources forwards at this point. And with 20 seconds, 2 goals to find, Arcada have been close in game 1, but unfortunately, I just think there's too much panic in the camp. There's too much concern about what Dr. Booman are able to bring to the table. It's close, but no cigar. They will just keep this ball in this half as long as they can, wind that clock down. Beautiful game management from the Germans.
Absolutely, and this is a very German style of Rocket League as well. They are architects when it comes to Rocket League. They know how to play out those games. It's a very professional nation of Rocket League. It's been there since essentially the beginning of time, and of course that bleeds into their collegiate scene as well. It certainly runs through the veins of those that are part of the Dr. Booman rosters. And again, they come back to play completely invincible and qualifying to the playoff brackets.
Yeah, in a 3-0 fashion as well. That is not to be taken lightly. Performed very, very well here today. And definitely ones to watch out for in playoffs next week. They are such a quality outfit. There'll be a challenge for any given team. And I just want to touch on the scoreboard that we saw a moment ago. Every single facet, every single stat that we had was in the favor of Dr. Booman. Every single one. Even saves was close. They were 1 away from being level on saves. 3 saves for Dr. Booman, 4 saves for Arcada. And when you're beating a team 3-1 and getting close on saves like that, yeah, it's pretty rough out here. So Dr. Booman definitely earning their spot in the top 8.
Yeah, it was just a quality difference ultimately to decide that one. And Dr. Booman are heaps full of it. They've got history as well to prove that point, but it looks like the present and the future is going to be the one to look out for. There's going to be no more Dr. Booman on the remainder of today's broadcast, but of course next week they shall return to our screens in the playoff stages. Arcada still have their work cut out for them. Still one more series they're going to have to pick up if they want to qualify to those later playoff stages. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, the focus still remains on the Swiss. It's do or die. We're over the hump. It's round 4 and round 5 still to stand. Myself, Rhino, and Q will see you after the break.
how, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Now that you're gone, I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Laying on my floor, thinking about all the things that we've been through. From 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. Feel me in the darkness. My shadows, they follow you like an accomplice. Lost all of your dreams, the night is heartless. My shadows, they follow you. My shadows, they follow you in the darkness. In the
Well, with Dr. Bowman and Warwick being our first 2 schools to be able to secure their spot in playoffs. We still got 6 more spots to be able to lock in over the course of the next 2 rounds here. 3 teams going to be also exiting over the course of these next 2 rounds apiece as well. This is where things get interesting. It's round number 4 of Swiss, and I feel like for me at least, this is where it all comes down to the difference of really just a play or two. And I hope you guys are ready for it as much as I am, because we just had a banger of a 3rd series, because this is how we feel heading into round number 4.
Feeling really good. Nice to see a matchup on screen as well, where there is going to be some more of those eliminations, all of which have so far gone to forfeits, and 2 extra actually being added to that regard in the 1 and 2, but there are still 2 teams willing to scrap it out before round 5.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at a team like PXL, you start off with a dub yesterday, Rhino, and then you get Dr. Bowman and Roehampton back-to-back. Tough draws, and now you've got 1 foot out the door. I mean, how are you feeling if you are the squad right now going to round 4?
I'll be honest, you're probably looking at that going, all right, we've played 1 and 2. All right, it doesn't get harder than this for the rest of the day. You kind of got to think in that mindset, because otherwise it can be really easy to just kind of lose all momentum that you had going into it. They've been given a really tough draw in this stage, and I think at this point you've just got to hope that your day doesn't get any harder. And this game is going to be tough, so they still need to switch on, but I don't think it's going to be as difficult as the 2 they've already played.
Not as difficult, but I do got to say, it's always an interesting dynamic. It almost feels like that trap game sort of scenario because of what you just said, right? You played against 1 and 2, you walk in feeling, well, we got to be the considered, like favorites in this one. If we just come in and play our game, we should be fine, which I think to some extent is probably fair from what we've seen from PXL thus far, but it's very funny for the Hungarians here. They're the first team to be in the main event for a first Hungarian main event team, and I feel like you're playing with house money at this point. You're in round 4. I mean, Pegasus, it feels like you get to play with no real pressure on your shoulder if you are Szczecin Istvan, right?
Yeah, and that's going to take some weight off their shoulders, especially against a team that has so much weight on theirs. PXL have really supported their rosters heading towards all of this collegiate action. The team members get really big announcements when the rosters get confirmed for them. They've been pushing for this point for quite some time, and they haven't been in a main event since 2021. No Belgian team has ever made that top 8. They've got the chance to break so many barriers wearing the badge of a university that has tried so hard to support this scene.
Definitely interesting to see 2 schools that I feel like come into this matchup in very similar sort of regards in that sense, right? Like you get to make history not only for your university, but also for your country in that sense, which is really fun. So I feel like the big thing, though, is you do already unfortunately have 1 foot out the door. Game number 1, we always talk about being that sort of feeler out period, Rhino. So how important do you really put on a weight in a game number 1, especially with it still being the best of 5s at this point?
I say it's more important for the Hungarian squad than PXL. I would say Szczecin, they have to go into that game 1 with the full momentum and believing that they can take it, and really trying to get in the face of PXL, trying to utilize the momentum that they have and utilize the fact that PXL have just been beaten down by 2 of the best teams in this competition. If you can do that, if you can use that to your advantage, then it's going to be a really, really long series for PXL. I think they need to make sure that they're switched on from game 1. If they're not, they're going to find it really tough, and they're going to have to grind it out probably in 4 or 5 games.
It's always interesting when you get into these rounds 4 and 5. I guess you could even really say in round 3, but it's like where you have one team that's coming in off of the back of the loss, one team coming in off of the back of the win. Momentum kind of being in 2 different tides in this case. I guess my question for you, Pig, as far as heading in towards things, do you feel like as far as for a team like PXL, is there anything in particular that is, I guess when it comes to setting the mental, other than performance, is there a talk that you're having amongst one another to make sure that you're locked in heading into this round number 4?
It's a really tough position for them to be in. Again, they are facing the brink of elimination right now, but you look at their run, they got that forfeit win in that first round, and then having to get Dr. Boomin and Roehampton back to back. I know it's already been mentioned so many times on this stream, which is why it's an absolute joy we finally get the opportunity to actually watch them play a little bit later down the line. But this is another one of those rosters. It took them 2 attempts to even get qualified here in the first place. They aren't strangers to recovering from adversity, and actually a really interesting stat to track out of all the teams that have played in this main event is there is not a single team outside of those that of course have forfeited their way out of the competition that have not picked up a game. There will be no 0-9s. Everyone has come out with something played on the pitch, and these two are included. It's of course the 2 coming from PXL against Dr. Boomin. It's only the 1 for Szechenyi Istvan in the first round of Swiss last night. But that's how you know that these two are going to have that bit of a fight, and when you've got the brink of elimination as well, it's going to be like that the entire time.
We have ourselves a moment or two here while we try and get everybody compiled into this lobby. I wanted to pick your brain here for a moment, Rhino, because we talked about kind of like the unfortunate draw of this PXL squad, right? You go against 1 and 2. Is there any concerns about the fact that it seems like when you lost the first series, it was in a 3-2 fashion, you figure it's a dogfight, but then you follow that up by getting swept? Do you feel like there is anything to coming into the back of this off of losing 3 straight, right?
Yeah, yes and no. Like, I think that the thing for me is you're going into that 1-on-1 game against Roehampton, who we know are one of the quality teams in this whole competition, and you're doing so after the back of a grueling, tough 5-game series against another one of the best teams in this competition. There is going to be a cooldown period after losing in a game 5 in that fashion. They could have been in the 2-0 brackets fighting for qualification, and now they've got to play one of the biggest teams in the 1-on-1s for a chance to even like stay here, to be considered as someone who's being in this competition in the first place. I just think it's a lot mentally, and so when you're going against Roehampton, they are ruthless, they are killers, they will absolutely take advantage of any weakness that you give them. And so I think PXL just showed a little bit too much weakness in that game. They are somewhat lucky in the sense that that game ended very quickly now, because it's given them time to now reset that mental. It's given them time to realize the situation, understand what's happened, and move forwards and see what their path to success looks like. It's got to go through the Hungarian squad, and I'm interested to see if they can do it.
I think we were talking about for both these two squads, kind of that extra bit of like a sense of being able to do something like special here for their squads, or for their universities, right, and for their countries even. You know, for first time in 5 years for PXL, or just first time ever for the Hungarians on the other side of the pitch. Do you feel like that makes it to a point where, if you do drop game number 1, we always see teams who still have that chance to pull off the reverse sweep? Do you feel like that the extra pressure means that you go down 0-2 here, like it's kind of donezo? Like, do you have to win that second one, or because of the fact that both these teams have overcome some adversity, you still have confidence going in down 0-2?
It's tough to call, especially when you have two of these teams that are not necessarily here as favourites. To an extent, that's what they expected being here in the first place, that it was going to be grueling. They were going to have to fight themselves out of a lot of these spots. And I know that for Szechenyi Istvan, they've got a scholarship for one of the players. They're actually a very serious university when it comes to competing. So you would hope that that culture is already instilled in the players. And, you know, it's their first appearance at a Hungarian team into the main event of UR. But who knows, maybe come the next winter, we'll be looking out for the names like Zhadamovic. We'll be looking to see if they can get themselves back into that fight yet again. But it all has to start here, and they do have a chance to do it if they are able to get themselves on stream.
Well, chat, we're getting pretty close to being able to find our way off to kickoff. We're just trying to get our last couple of players into the lobby. So while we get everything set up on the back end, we're going to go ahead and send things off to a quick break. Grab yourselves a quick drink, but on the other side, we'll be taken to the pitch here for round number 4 of Swiss. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Don't wanna forget what you feel like when you feel.
All right, and a quick housekeeping first before we get into some action here. I do suppose we were hyping up having the only elimination game on stream, and well, we're not going to now. Unfortunately, Hungarian squad wasn't able to get in time, so it will be PXL that is advancing through into round number 5. But we figured instead of just sitting here on a kind of a Be Right Back screen, we can kind of do a little view around some of the other games and kind of sit on them in with the three of us. So let's go ahead and tune on into Southampton versus Birmingham as currently in game number 4, but Birmingham looking to extend it to a game 5 here, folks.
Yeah, I mean, this was a 2-0 at the moment in game 2 for Southampton. Birmingham have brought this back to what looks potentially like it could be a 2-2. They're setting up the reverse sweep, maybe. Southampton falling off towards the end of this series, and that demo is definitely going to cause an extra goal for Birmingham. So, game 5, here we come, I think.
Yeah, it's looking like it. Well, Birmingham know how to fight towards a full distance of a game. They did it in the last NSC Championship. It was that semi-final. They had to play against the likes of Loughborough. Went all the way down to 7. Unfortunately, they just couldn't shut it down. Loughborough ended up in that grand finals versus Roehampton. And Roehampton did the Roehampton thing that they've been doing in NSC for quite some time now and took that one away. But Soraya and Maj 10 especially are such an established duo by this point. Of course, we see it in the collegiate scene, but they also play together in RLCS. They play together in bubble tournaments. I've seen them play under the flags of the likes of 95 Vikings and more alongside time. So definitely a duo to look out for the remainder of the tournament. But now they could get themselves qualified in this 5th game. It looks like it's been quite the fight.
I feel like we've seen it kind of in multiple regions where Collegiate Rocket League still has a pretty strong grasp where when you have those duos, whether, in NA sometimes they're duos who have like the I guess you would call it pro experience or even just, RLCS working through like the opens. I feel like the extra time that you put in together, especially when you get into crunch time scenarios, kind of like this, Leighton Swiss in the top 16, in the region. Like sometimes just that little bit of extra synergy, like knowing exactly where your teammate's going to be without having to have the comms can be such a extra stress relief.
Oh, it's all about that team cohesion at that point. Like you can have all of the mechanics you want in the world, but if you're playing 1v3, if you're not playing with your team at that point, I mean, it's not going to go your way. So to be able to have that knowledge and have that actual rapport beforehand, yeah, that's the most important thing. So we will keep watching that. There we go, as we've got game 5 on the way. One game to determine who will qualify. Remember, this is a qualification game, of course.
It's good news for whoever loses it, though, right? You have one more life. That's the good news. So,
yeah. Unfortunately, though, there's going to be no save by the forfeits. Well, touch wood, I guess we should say at this point, because it's been completely the deciding factor in the elimination so far, which is quite a shame to say. We didn't think it was going to be the case in the 1 and 2 bracket. We had one matchup that we were potentially going to watch, but that one shut down. But you speak about how important that team factor really is in carrying these games forward. I mean, I think back earlier today to that AP matchup in round 1 where AP didn't really look like they had it together, unfortunately, and Chichester were a lot more of a unit. Of course, RX 100 individually was excellent, but a lot of that individuality was used to glue the team together, especially Q in that 2nd and 3rd game.
I was wondering if we were going to get a chance to tune into the other game, but it looks like that other series is already wrapped up. Arcata will be advancing through, joining Roehampton as our other round 4 advancers. So they'll be waiting by to see who will be joining them as the 5th team into our playoffs. As maybe there's a chance that Southampton could very well be on their way off of the back of that goal right there.
Yeah, for sure. We saw an opportunity for Birmingham earlier in this game where they kind of got to go ahead. They were moving down the pitch really nicely, but stopped in its tracks by Southampton. They've turned things around and gone back the other way. So clearly we picked the right game to be watching with the Finns going through 3 and 1. This is that game 5 and exactly what we were talking about. It's all going to be about which team kind of knows each other the best, and that's a couple of demos on the back line. That should be the equalizer. What a save on the goal line. Goodness me.
Clutch. Really, really clutch from Southampton. And I would say, actually, going into this, I would say Birmingham would be the favoured team. That's what's fortunate when you do have two teams playing against each other that are from the same country. NSC's been the big test for both of these rosters. And usually it's been Birmingham outplacing them, but there's a little bit of extra sauce that Southampton are bringing for UR now.
That's Austin indeed. That's a big pickup there. I mean, not only do you have the lead, but you double it down. You get yourself a security play. I mean, there's 3:10, so there's time for Birmingham to turn things around. But it feels like for me, right, like if you go down 3 at this point in game number 5, you might as well spell curtains. Birmingham really in a bad spot at this point.
Yeah, although there's a part of me which thinks, you know, they're 2-0 down, and they were 2-0 down in the series. They've come back, and now they're 2-0 down in the game. It looks like they might starting to come back as well. Like, that's the kind of mentality that you need to be thinking about. Hey, we've been 2-0 down in this series before, and we fought back. They're going to do so. We've not even had half time in this game 5 yet.
In recent times for Birmingham, they've got what I would call just a bronze place curse. They had to watch Roehampton and Lincoln. Absolutely dominate the UK scene for quite some time. That was almost a third for Southampton there. And then as soon as the Lincoln players started graduating, Birmingham were like, great, a spot has opened up. On come the Loughborough Lions, all of a sudden Birmingham stays seated and instead are leapfrogged by another team. Now the chance has opened up here. Scout Shooters have had to DQ their way out. Southampton historically hasn't been outplacing them. Loughborough Lions, as they're called in NSC, just Loughborough here in UR, have DQ'd their way out. This is finally time for Birmingham to be the second placing team in England. Southampton step up. Of course. Just of course. There's always the bridesmaid, never the brides. How about always the bridesmaid's maid? That's Birmingham.
Tough pressure to feel for sure. I mean, it does not get any easier either from here on out. I mean, the pressure of now essentially having one foot out the door, you drop this one. And when you surrender now a third goal, I mean, we still said time left, right? I mean, 106 seconds, but I feel like Southampton at this point really riding the wave. It feels like they've just had all of the control here in game 5.
Yeah, I think on that one, it's just an unfortunate placement for Sarai. I thought there was going to be a better opportunity downfield, and then just finds himself out of position. And then at that point, you're kind of looking around. You've got resources, sure, but you're too beneath the ball to be able to get there first. So you want to go back to goal, and it's a difficult kind of mental gymnastics thing to do in 0.5 seconds. Can't really get there. That's a wonderful pass. Mash 10 not ready for it, and well, Pegasus's biggest favorite player in the UK right now has got some questions to answer, especially if Southampton score there. They don't.
Still not
this
on the
is really
doorstep.
scruffy.
Oh my goodness.
This has been very scrappy in this final minute. Birmingham, I mean, Q, you can see the desperation. You saw it in the final third. There were two players in front of the ball as opposed to behind it. Vincey's not going to get that chance either. And Vincey's really interesting on this roster because that third man position has flip-flopped quite a fair bit for Birmingham. I know that they have Cosmaniac, I believe it is, who's usually a potential option for Birmingham, not playing this time. Another save from Southampton. They just will not let anything slip through. This is Dr. Booman levels of game management. And it's another post here.
No way.
Over. No way.
Oh, surely after that one, Southampton have to realize that this is their game, right? I mean, you get the assistance of the post on both the side and the top. I mean, it just feels like it's in the cards. It's in the weather. It just feels like for them, they're going to get a chance to advance and even an extra security blanket goal there. I mean, just really coming out and flexing in game 5.
Yeah, I mean, this is... once you get to that 3-1 point with less than 30 seconds... Any goal scored by the leading team at that point, I just don't count. I'm just like, they're like the losing team at that point. They're trying to really push people forwards. They're not thinking about defense so much. Those counter-attacking goals can be really tough, and Birmingham have suffered the fate of one of those right there. So it is going to be Southampton who go through. Birmingham are going to have to play another series, but they do still have another life, and that's going to help them a little bit.
Surely the Game 5 at least has them feeling a little bit better going into that last round, right, Pig? I mean, you were at least able to push in the distance. It's not like you're hanging your head off of the back of a sweep. I feel like, I don't want to say best case scenario, because obviously best case scenario is not playing round 5, but for having to go here, I feel like about best case scenario could have been.
Yeah, certainly, but there's going to be no easy matchups heading into this final round, and already you can see for Birmingham they're going to have to play the likes of AP. We mentioned before, never have we seen a Belgian university make it into that top 8. They've got a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Birmingham have been the third place team in the UK for way too long, but to not even make the top 8, they would be extremely disappointed. They might actually be the 4th or the 5th best team, depending on how some of these matches line up as well. They're actually guaranteed that that Bath or Northampton are going to be making it.
Well, we've sent 5 teams home. We've had 5 teams already secure their spots in the playoff dance next week. So off to round 5 we go, where we get to put a nice little bow on the Swiss stage here, boys. We've got everyone waiting for us. We were just watching the last matchup of the day, so let's go ahead and grab ourselves a quick little break. But on the other side, we'll be bringing one more best of 5, Swiss stage round number 5, right after this.
Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many drinks got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Not that you're gone. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Laying on my floor, thinking about all the things that we've been through. From 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, 'cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to.
Well, when we When we met up yesterday, we had 16 of EU's top collegiate Rocket League programs, and we wanted to trim the field down to 8. We've sent 5 teams home already. It's time to secure our final 3 spots. It's round number 5 of Swiss, and I guess before we head into it, let's actually take a look at the bracket and see how we've gotten here. I feel like a lot of the usual suspects that have already qualified their way on through. PXL will be once again trying to feature them on screen to see if we can get them through for their first top 8 since 2021, I do believe it was. But yeah, we're down to this final 3 matchups. Pegasus, how you feeling?
It really isn't a dull matchup in this round 5.
No.
It's as simple as that. Like I said, everyone has come home with at least a game today. Even if they got forfeit win to get them into this point, it doesn't matter anymore. This is all a group of fighters. The fact that only 3 are going to qualify guarantees there are going to be some disappointed faces. There are going to be teams that were fully expecting at least a top 8 qualification that are going to have nightmares tonight, let's just say.
Well, PXL, as we talked about, trying to make some history here. Chichester was one of those rosters that you had mentioned, I believe it was earlier today, Rhino, that you thought could make some noise. And, well, they have a chance here to secure themselves a spot in the top 8. I was kind of curious, wanted to pick your brain. Do you feel like it gives an advantage over the Chichester squad for the fact that they actually played around number 4? You didn't have kind of that back and forth warming up, then not warming up, that could have potentially cooled this PXL squad down.
I think if they had played a team that wasn't Roehampton, then yes. But to be honest, coming off the back of that, it's going to be tough. I mean, they did take a game off of Roehampton, which is a pretty impressive feat. Not many teams are able to do that at this level. So the fact that they were even able to stand up to one of the best in the competition is huge for them. I do think that series, though, is one that's really tough to go through when you're playing against a team like Roehampton. So I'm interested very much to see where they're coming through. And PXL, yeah, they might have, not had that same hot hands experience now. The difference is they have had time to go away and discuss what went wrong in the games against some of the top teams earlier. And I think that's a big deal for them as well.
Well, Chichester or PXL, unfortunately, one of them does not get to advance through here because let's start with you. Who do you feel is going to be punching their ticket into next week's action?
It's going to be as simple as this for me. Both teams have 2 wins. Chichester had that played on the pitch. PXL got a forfeit win for both of them. So simply for me, it's Chichester that are looking hot. It's Chichester that have earned their spots. Of course, you can talk about strength of schedule, but ultimately, PXL are just going to have to accept that that's gone against them. I'm going to go Chichester in this final round.
And I definitely feel like that makes a lot of sense. Are you kind of along the same lines? I see you nodding your head a lot over there right now.
I'm nodding and understanding along. But the fact of the matter is, I've been going along with Pegasus all day, and it has not gone very well for me. So I want to see the Belgian team do it. I want to see PXL get there, and so that's who I'm going to be picking. I've got to break away from the curse somehow.
At least one of you guys, I guess, is going to be getting a little closer to me than I guess on this one here. But I do feel like for Chichester, I got to ride the wave, and I'm going to be rocking with Pegasus here. We'll see if it was Pig that was the bad omen, or who knows, maybe it was the third guy on that far right side of the screen. We'll have to see what everything is all said and done. The good news, though, is we were really wanting to set up our playoff field, and well, we are now just about at that time. It's round number 5. Unfortunately, 3 teams do go home, but the good news is 3 teams will be able to keep their hopes alive. So I guess, with this next series, let's go ahead and get on down to it. Can PXL make themselves a little bit of history over on their side of the pitch? Or can Chichester play spoiler and punch their ticket into the playoff action? It's a race to 3 wins. Let's go ahead and settle it out on the pitch. Let's get down and do what it do.
Two different teams of two very different nations. It's elimination or qualification to be found in this final round. A Belgian team never making it into the top 8 of Uni Rocketeers, now only competing with fellow Europeans. Chichester will be the final stand. UK, with such a seasoned history in the collegiate scene, will that depth be shown once more? Rhino, we have kickoff. Let's find out.
We certainly will. Flo's going to get us underway on that left-hand side. Miki bringing it long out of the corner. The Belgians looking for an early opportunity. Good save away from RRX 100 as he actually goes beyond another one. There's a goalkeeper back, though. This is going to be a real interesting one for PXL because we talked about it on the desk. They didn't have that game 4. Are they going to be a little bit cold coming into this final game of the day? RRX wants to make it true. Krill finishes the job. Chichester lead 1-0.
And they've got that competitiveness, that esports flowing through their veins. All three players actually currently standing on an esports course. Of course, we've seen a wide range of different qualifications that allowed these players to be able to compete in the Uni Rocketeers. But there's very few that are as focused as this Chichester side. That being said, though, I believe PXL, one of their 3 players, actually on a scholarship to be able to represent themselves. Shot going high. Flo's attempt is blocked off. Krill not going to get any follow-up chances. It was a full back wall of PXL players to clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to have to make sure that they marshal that back wall against the likes of Chichester. They've got a lot of quality on that side. As now Flo will go up, gets the reset, looking for the challenge. It goes into the corner. Ultra boost picked up by Miki, but his teammates not looking so healthy in the resource department. There's a chance here. Xander's got through, but Flo's back to make the save.
I was going to ask for a ping check from Flo. It turns out the white light was just too bright for him. Stuck on that side to pick up that 100 boost. Didn't end up getting punished in this occasion, but PXL will be certainly looking out for that in the future. Xander will send it long. Krill has an easy block out, but it does remain in the dangerous spot. The double demo, though, will prevent any offensive chances from flying towards the Chichester net. Remains in this half. Chichester looking to work that ball back into the box. This won't do.
It's a cool way of working it from Chichester. If you're not going to get back to the ball to defend it, just take out the opposing players. They can't do much at that point. Shot on right in front of net. Doesn't go home. A bit of a double commit, but one that will get found out immediately. Krill doesn't have enough to be able to get back to the ball, so now Miki trying to bring this down the field, but once again the aggression coming through from Chichester. It might have been them. So close, but the left-hand post denies PXL for now.
And the space was there. We're not trying to weave it into a gap that didn't exist. That was just simply a lack of efficiency on the side of PXL. It's their first real chance of a game that they've set their sights on. There have been a few half chances thrown that way. That's definitely one of them that I would count towards the mark. But RX 100, we saw his mechanics at the beginning of the stream, and he started off so nicely. He'll be looking to end it the same way as well. Currently, actually, on the way to a reverse Swiss. They were actually in the 2-0 bracket.
Yeah, which is a very scary position to be. They are doing a good job now of bringing this through. And actually, RRX looking to pop that forwards. Might have served better just leaving that one for a teammate, although Miki was on the recovery. Miki now going to pick this up off the right side, off the ceiling. Oh, it's really awkward. RRX did not want to get a touch on that ball, just trying to shepherd it down to teammates. Does do that in the end, and the clearance comes through. Good conjoined defending from Chichester. They still have work to do. RRX does it well.
I'm loving this backboard defense coming from Chichester. PXL have had their few attempts on that back wall, and I did notice that in the first series we watched today, but Chichester were the only team on the pitch that was really putting in that care towards that mark. Makes it so hard to find a gap in the vertical space to just sneak your way through. And PXL have had those early struggles. Chichester, however, having to pass it along ground. Not going to cut in time. Will Miki, RX 100, is put to work with the 2 touches. Krill himself isn't going to get a second. Ball was left. Flo couldn't reach it. It's going to be a recycled ball back to RX100, and Chichester have been able to completely regroup. There's Flow for play. I said had to buy some time to get back. But you can see how tight the rotations are on this blue side. It's paid them dividends in the early stages, but still with only one goal to show. That's going to be a House of Cards ready to topple. Flow will defend that gust of wind, but PXL have not let the storm die down yet.
Tell you what, it feels like we only just started this game a moment ago, but now we're ticking down to 30 seconds left. Only 1-0. Chichester got that goal on the board early, and they've stuck with it. PXL not been able to create enough in front of the Chichester net, and with 10 seconds to go and that boost steal, that's really not going to help matters. Ball deep in PXL's half, and that should be that. Flow, you'd think, would be able to get the ball on the ground, but no. Miki keeps it high. Xander pushing it forward. Is there a chance? No, there isn't. Can't catch up to the play. The ball will drop. Chichester to take game one, but what a tight game one it was.
Certainly, but this is just two very different play styles clashing. Chichester able to maintain all of that pressure throughout the entirety of those 5 minutes. PXL had to play a little bit more of a counter-attacking game, and they did have a few chances that went wayward for them where they could have achieved that equality, but they have to hope that their defense remains this solid for the rest of this series, because they've put themselves in that really tight position where a mistake from PXL will lead to a goal. It's as simple as that. A mistake from Chichester will just turn over possession, and that's what happens when you're the more defensive faceted team, and PXL certainly were in that first.
They were, absolutely. And it's unclear right now whether that is genuinely their game plan or whether they've been forced into that by Chichester. We'll find out more going into this second game. If PXL do want to put pressure on the Chichester side, they need to take more of those aggressive challenges. In fact, they need to make sure that they actually hit more of those aggressive challenges, because most of the time you've got a player going forward trying to get control of the ball, but they're so far off the play that the Chichester player gets around them and gets an attack off. PXL needs to be right on the spot at those 50s, and they need to win them whenever they can.
1-0 though. Certainly not the end of the world for PXL. It's more the lack of chances, the lack of threats. Once they did pick up possession, that does have you thinking twice about how this second game is going to go. It's a messy start from PXL, though just able to hobble their way out of defense. Miki did find a small gap in that back wall. A double commit comes through from Chichester. Still, though, a third man able to recover himself. RX100 out that front post. Won't get any second touches, but the extra bit of boost gives him that leeway. That flicks off the ceiling. Has that chance blocked away from Krill. Sometimes those ones can sneak their way past the lines. There's another double commit coming in there from the defense of Chichester. Bit of a nervy start from both teams, but the team that's going to continue with all the pressure is certainly going to have the advantage. Guess what, Rhino? I saw two players leave.
Yeah, I certainly did as well. There are more double commits coming out this game from Chichester on the defense. That will concern them later, but as you have rightly said, in between games, Pegasus, it's not leading to goals for PXL. That's the biggest problem right now. They've had a lot of the momentum, they've had a lot of the possession of PXL. They've just not been able to take advantage in those moments. Why? Because that second man is too far back. We saw a real opportunity there in front of goal for PXL to be able to get that first goal of the game, and the ball was just waiting for someone to tap in right in front of the Chichester net. Where were the two remaining players? Back on the halfway line. They need to be able to push forwards a little bit more, otherwise they're gonna be undone. And RRX does that beautifully. Problems on defense for PXL, but elation for Chichester.
It's all about that quick catch coming from Flow in the tight spaces. PXL looked for that clearance. Flow didn't expect that ball to initially be thrown towards them, but still is able to cushion it into safety, bring it back in towards the opponent's danger area. And once that's mixed up, it's PXL that are completely on the back foot and left scrambling. Chichester can just stroke that one home. Great position to see their way out of, and it's one of those chaotic moments where you've been looking for PXL to try and break the lines of this entire game and have not been able to. Chichester do it first time of asking.
Yeah, it's that clinicality. Chichester just able to make good on their one opportunity so far in this game. They might get a couple more, they keep playing like this. Demo on the PXL player. Double commit. That's going to cause problems. Shot on. Good save by Dupflix. We've not really said his name too much in this series. Needs to get a little bit more involved in the play for PXL. As Xander goes over the top. Flo, actually his favorite to this ball, goes low instead. Nikki will send it away, gets past one, but again, good spacing from Chichester makes it difficult for PXL to break down the field.
Oh, team pinch vote. That's towards the target. Xander will just send this one off to safety, and it was temporarily in possession of a teammate, but the demo comes through. Xander lands another. And there he goes. That's the player you asked for. Dupflix getting the ball. Miki will catch it with a flip. Resets and tucks it underneath. That little bit of magic that PXL have been waiting for finally gets delivered.
It's such an important goal for PXL. Their first of the series comes after 8 minutes of Rocket League has been played. But it doesn't matter because they're now level. And it's a great bump on the goal line as well from that man who I asked for more from. Dupflix. Fantastic work onto RRX, made it so difficult to make the save. So difficult he simply couldn't anymore, could not recover in time. And now, PXL playing with the momentum, and Krill passing that one back towards his own team, but that's a dangerous pass. Will still be able to get away with it. Dupflix over to that left side. Will be intercepted by Chichester, but Xander collect on the left side. He really wanted a 50, didn't get one. Dupflix got a brilliant 50, but he didn't have too much help. PXL try and stop the ball on the halfway line. They do so, but Krill gets beyond one. Might have got beyond a second. No, an extra touch is found.
Plays close. Xander, though, sees through the Chaos RX 100, still able to pick it up, and there's been a bump to just delay that challenge from Miki. Still does a great job to tip this one off towards the corner, headed straight towards two cars. No one wants to try and take the initiative. Shots on. That could have been two for Chichester instead. Ball goes across the length of the pitch. There's 60 seconds still to stand. Potential for an overtime in what feels like it is a must-win game for PXL. Xander has to stand up. That is an absolute treat for the Belgian. But for Chichester, this dark chocolate's bitter.
Talk about a solo goal. Xander hitting that one off the ceiling, going forwards, catching it with the reset, flipping forwards. Beautiful work. PXL have a lead to hold on to now. 50 seconds to play. Already we've seen 2 more goals than we did in game number 1. Is there any more? Yes, there is. No, what a save. Dupflix, top left corner. How on earth has he got a hand up to that?
And this isn't the only UK versus Belgian matchup. AP versus Birmingham also traded the first 2 games evenly. PXL looking to follow suit. Chichester doing anything in their means to change that. 20 seconds left. The doink isn't going to land. Miki gets fed just in the nick of time. Up that left wall, though. Flow's available, looking for an outlet pass, but there's no one on that wider angle. It's all close quarters. There is close quarters for RX100, and a PXL defender still has such a tough distance to try and find. Krill's got barely any boost of attack, no space as well. Miki just has to aim for ground, but that's last touch of the game. Krill, it's wide. Xander will stop. A savior medal is achieved by Miki, and that means more than you could ever know. But ball is still up. Chichester will not be able to chase this one. It was an extended 0 seconds, but PXL finally get that game in the bag.
PXL deserved to concede in that final moment. Oh my goodness gracious. It is outrageous. At 2-1 up to send 3 players into the opposition's half when you don't have possession of the ball. I don't understand what they were thinking. They got lucky that that shot coming through from the halfway line missed. Goodness gracious me, they do level the series. But if they make another mistake like that in this series, it won't go unnoticed. It won't go unpunished. Chichester have proven that many times before. PXL played so well for like 4 minutes and 59 seconds of the game, but that is all it takes sometimes to lose a series. That close. That close.
And whether you're a Chichester or a PXL fan, one thing I'm sure we can all agree of, especially in the neutral terms, is I'm glad we're going to get a 4th game at a minimum squeezed out of this. This was one of those matchups which we saw on paper didn't want to see it go down as the sweep. We want to see as much on the ball action as possible, especially with how yesterday went. But the servers are up and running. Neo Tokyo as a server is up and running. Game 3 ready to go underway. An important swing to get yourself in that match point position.
Here we go. PXL going to try and start quick. Do a good job of it, but that clearance is going to cause them some problems. Once again, all 3 players pushed forwards into the Chichester half. Miki will be able to get an extra touch. It's not really enough, but Chichester can't clear their lines either. And now there's a chance here for Miki! Bottom left corner. There's a demo on the goal line as well from who else? Dupflix causing problems for the Chichester defensive line. That will be 1-0 to PXL.
I love that bail away coming from Xander. Initially wanted to look for that back pass, anticipated my teammate was going to be tucked in towards that halfway line. Instead, it was that step-up. Communication was good enough for him to bail away early. That was a really well-earned first goal from PXL, and it feels important as well, especially with how low scoring that this series has been so far. It feels like a goal's worth double compared to what we've seen in previous matchups. Miki gets this block off onto the back wall. It's going to be a tough angle for Flo. Has to play for that pass instead, but it's just passed around inside the box from PXL. No pressure in the 6-yarder despite the potential threats of elimination, which Creel will increase with that equalizer.
PXL really needs to clean up these transitions because they're getting found out every time. Dupflix goes over to that mid boost. There's a player on the far left side that you can't even see in shot. That's how far away from the ball they are at this point. You can't lose possession in that moment deep in your opponent's half and then not have someone back ready to make the save. That is not ideal from the PXL side. The Belgians really going to need to have a discussion, maybe even in between games if they can during this game, to try and clean that up a little bit. But Chichester find them out, and how many more times will they be allowed to do that? Nice flick over the top from RRX, but there's a good second man position there from Xander. Backboard doesn't have any resources, but Miki's there. And once again, better team play coming through from PXL gets results, 2-1.
But Xander's the one to make it happen for both of those opportunities. Previously, it was a bump on that back wall and bailing away from the play. This time, it was dribbling all the way, beating his man, and then again bailing away for that teammate. There is a real consistency here in how Xander is able to set up his teammates, but there also has to be a lot of emphasis on his teammates there for trusting the position, for jumping up early. This is not going to be an isolated incident. This hasn't been an isolated incident. They had to somehow get themselves qualified to this competition in the first place, and part of that has to be the trust between these 3 players. And how vital is that when you're in a round 5 situation of Swiss?
So important, so key. We're seeing it in front of us, playing out in front of us, and actually the Belgian fans for you are going crazy all around the place because at the moment AP are beating Birmingham 2-1 in that series. So maybe we'll have 2 Belgian teams in the top 8 if PXL keep playing like they are. But Chichester will have something to say about that. Dupflix pushes it into the corner, tries to get beyond, but doesn't do so cleanly. Flo, no way. No, actually does pick up that 100. I thought just about missed it, but spawned literally as he drove over it. Good timing in the end, and now Flo down the left-hand side. Oh, just can't get beyond Miki. This is really impressive from PXL, but they might have a moment here that they need to get back. Who's there? It's Xander.
Fearlessness get themselves up so fast, and to meet that 50-50, seeing a lot of hanging for the big boost in this series, more than we've seen in any other today. Shot from Dupflix. Is it going to test Flo too much? He'll call that a 1-2. Now looking for a pass actually to a teammate. Not going to happen though. Miki, unchallenged, in the skies, has his flip resets, but just no boost. So follow up that play on Dupflix, takes it over. Xander looks for that shot on target. Krill, Nuve are able to stop it. Miki goes for those 2 touches off that back wall, sets up well. Xander's turn to finish the job. He's been the assist man for the entirety of the series. But when it was time for those rolls to reverse, he just could not get there. How bad will that feel, especially when RX 100 is going to take it straight back to your side?
Wow, that double commit further down the field is going to really cause PXL some problems. But the snipe into the bottom right-hand corner from RRX, shot placement out the wazoo. And somehow Chichester managed to pull themselves back to level. This game has ebbed and flowed, changed who is in the driver's seat multiple times in this series. Whoever takes that series point really is going to have earned it. PXL trying to be that team as they work across from the right side. Flow sends it away down the left side, but intercepted by Dupflix. There's an extra touch there again, and the pass down is perfect. Opportunity in front of goal. RRX sends it away. Miki has control though.
And it was so easy to overhit that back pass from PXL. There was no one behind that man. It was a risky play to go for. But still, maintaining their chances. Miki's going to be stopped by Krill, who again is going to pull off a defensive masterclass in these games like we have seen in the previous. RRX 100 up alone. We know the mechanical prowess. PXL have done their research. Early block, Flow not going to be able to find a teammate in that inside space. It's all orange cars to make this clear. There's no double commits happening in this occasion either. So should have the resources to work their way out the box. But it's low boost all round. Chichester continue to initiate that press, but as Device Titans, PXL stretch it open, and now it's their turn on the counter. Krill to corner.
Yeah, great work, and Flow gets the clearance back down the other end of the field, and this is turned into a tennis match. Flow, backboard, chance, no!
Oh!
How has RRX not scored the third goal for Chichester in this game? Another opportunity goes begging, and that was all off the back of a team bump, actually, at the near post from PXL. Are they going to make Chichester regret their decisions? They will! Xander onto the left side of the goal, and it's punishment after punishment in this series. PXL, the latest. It's 3-2.
And this is what you would truly call a back and forth matchup. That phrase gets thrown around a lot, but it is oh so fitting for a series of this fashion. And as much as you'd like to say, sit back and enjoy the show, there shouldn't be one lover of Rocket League who isn't leant forward in their chairs.
I actually thought there was a touch there. I thought the redirect was in. I thought maybe we were going to OT again. That's the second time in 2 games that Chichester have had the chance at the death to bring it to an OT, and they just did not have that final touch. Close, but no cigar in this occasion. And you can see there on the scoreboard just how much the complexion of this series has changed around from that game 1, where it looks like Chichester were going to be able to take it relatively convincingly. Not so fast. The Belgian side are here to play, and Chichester have just fallen off a little bit since that game 1.
Yeah, they're barking at their heels now, and I was talking about during the beginning of that game, I said it's been a low-scoring affair. Every single goal feels like it's worth double. Was wondering if that was going to be a pattern that was going to be maintained. Absolutely not, Rhino. You can see at the bottom of your screen we're increasing the amount of goals by 2 every single time. Let's keep that going heading into game 4. There is going to be a lot to play for here on Utopia Coliseum. There could be Belgian collegiate history made if PXL can just hold it together for one final 5 minutes of action.
It is incredible to think that just earlier today, Chichester were in the 2-0 bracket, facing promotion, facing the playoffs. RRX gets us started on Utopia Coliseum after some Krill magic. Great fake on the left side, great 50 in front of goal, and Chichester lead. But point still stands, Pegasus. They were 2-0. You lose against Warwick, you lose against Roehampton, and now all of a sudden you're here in the 2-2s fighting for your life.
And what a first match to win on the pitch this would be for PXL, who haven't done so far. Facing defeat to Dr. Booman, facing defeat to Roehampton, who would have been most people's top 2 teams heading into this tournament. They were the finalists of the last UR competition as well. But now, making a stand in this final series, proving that they were worthy of these higher spots.
Absolutely. Chichester just going to try and tighten their grip around this game now. They managed to survive in game 1 with a 1-0. Just get the feeling PXL have changed their approach. They've changed the way they are playing. That's a pinch. There's no one back. Xander scores off the right wall. And Chichester caught napping.
It's never a wave dash here. Never a wave dash to get back in time. That's really slow from Flo, who had boosted the tank. Full opportunity to speed flip into that back post. And whether they underestimated the position or had already jumped a second before and was caught in the timing, that's rather unacceptable in the third man. That's not how you qualify to top 8.
Because this is normally my thing to be negative about people's Rocket League, all right? Don't take my thing. No, but you're absolutely right. That should never be happening. I mean, the pinch was impressive. It was powerful into that right-hand side. But the fact that you've got a player back and they don't get across the goal line to save that, yeah, Chichester going to be looking over their shoulders and wondering how that's happened. Miki looking to try and compile the misery. Oh, it's off the post.
Oh.
So close to the opener, to the lead for PXL. Now the bump play, not going to happen. Second man not there in time. Flo again just a little bit behind the play.
They're looking to recover from that previous mistake, and you do know that it is definitely going to be in the Chichester toolbox to do exactly that. RX100 will set up the aforementioned. It plays back to RX100, but the gap was closed. PXL with a really ambiguous flip defensively that could have stopped both chances. RX100 though keeps it going with the flip reset. Is stopped at the nick of time. Flo will take it towards the corner, but Miki now popping up themselves. It is a rare attack for the time being coming from PXL. And Chichester will look to escape in due time, especially with that ball rolling for Flo.
Yeah, for sure. 2.5 minutes to go. RX letting that one go. Backboard found. Krill to shoot. Actually just drops it down in the end. A long period of pressure here for Chichester. Does eventually get turned around on them. Good save by Krill. Is it enough? It is. Pushed to the side for the moment, and the clearance up to halfway. It's going to give Miki a chance. Oh, that pass not good enough. And now Flo playing it into the corner. Back into the middle. Cleared away by RRX. And now Xander looking to get this one over to a teammate. Miki's jumped high. Shot on Flo. Does really well to make that saves. No mistakes this time.
Wow, this is becoming a slug match. And you see a big difference in the game plan. It's these booming balls forward from PXL. And they've had those stray runners to try and get on the back of them. Chichester have kept the play close. They've gone for all of these tight passes. And it's just not quite gone into either favour. Defenses have been locked down. Chances haven't been tucked away. RX100, is it going to get a follow-up touch until it was given right back to him? 50s. Back towards that corner. And you want to call it safe, but Chichester in possession is always going to be a fearful sight. RX100 has to make sure he gets that right. He does, keeps it low enough, but PXL still maintain resourceful. And it's Xander again who adds another assist to their record.
He is just quicker. Sometimes it just comes down to that. Chichester are not ready for the speed that Xander's able to get to this ball, able to get in front of the play. Beautiful work. Chichester on the back foot now. Flo beyond one. Needs to catch up to this ball. Needs a 50. Needs something. Doesn't get it. 60 seconds and the Belgians may just be qualifying for playoffs. For the first time since 2021. It's cleared away. Dupflix pushes it towards that left side to Xander, but well, that's a little bit too quick for my liking, Xander, as he plays it over to the far side. It will be a chance for Chichester near post. Great save, Miki.
And that power was maintained for the shot as well. Xander, attempt on net, should be confidently sent out by Flo. It's going to be these follow-up touches that are really going to cause a struggle. 50 off Xander. Will reach Miki, of course it will. Two touches going to be too tough to grab. Pass out RX100. This is a must score. The redirect double tap not going to land. So Krill has to fill in the gaps. Not going to happen. Xander, team pinch isn't going to find a teammate this time. Krill will bail away. It's high percentage for RX100, who has to make the full length of a pitch now. Now it's Flo. Xander bumps their own teammates. Krill has been given so much space because of it. And he's got a teammate on the left-hand side. It doesn't reach him. It's too heavy. It happens. A Belgian makes the top 8.
Everybody just breathe after that incredible display from two teams desperate to get into the playoffs. Only one could, and it is going to be PXL. A university that prides itself in the esports scene, continuously making a point of their Rocket League teams, and they've got one to be proud of right here. Make it to top 8 of UR. That is absolutely huge. Chichester started the series incredibly well, but after that game 1, Pegasus, they just could not find that same form.
And I had to say, Chichester looked like the favourite team heading into this series based on what we had seen already on this screen. Of course, those 2 wins being played on the pitch for Chichester to get their wins. That was the only time we saw it for PXL, and they made sure to deliver when it happened. And it's not very often I get to say that your typical bagsman star of the show wasn't my man of a match. This time, it should be an easy pick for both of us, Rhino. It's Mr. Xander, aka How Will I Assist You?
Yeah, they call him the De Bruyne of PXL, because absolutely passing everywhere, making it so... that's why I said it, Pegasus. You know, he's got there. We figured it out. But someone else who's been figuring it out today until this final game is Q. He's got the final prediction wrong of the day, buddy. And, you know, how are you feeling about it?
I mean, you gotta get one wrong every once in a while. I gotta say,
exactly.
You know, I trusted you, Pig. I trusted you. No, I mean, it was a good series. It's crazy to think, though, that for this Chichester squad to sweep through their first 2 series, to then reverse sweep their way out of the bracket, is definitely going to be a tough pill to swallow. But I mean, they've lost to some really good teams along the way. That's for sure.
Yeah, they did.
They have, but they've also played some good teams as well. That's what's so tough about it, Q. When you look at those first 2 rounds, there is not a single slouch matchup. Of course, Barcelona looking like that lower seeded team, but we've seen from their run in the qualifiers, that's a team that knows how to fight, that knows how to force a full distance. They're actually a team that has qualified in that final stages, by the way. Then they went on to play AP, who ended up only losing in Game 5 to Birmingham in that 2-2 round. And then it was a Game 5 in the 2-0, 3-1 against, I mean, Roehampton of all people, fair enough. And then losing to PXL in that final round, the one time where we saw PXL playing out of their mind.
Yeah, we were wondering how PXL was going to do actually getting a chance to play in a game, right? And see if they could be able to pull off the dub in it. And to be able to make the history that they did, definitely had to be feeling good. When you look at the 8 teams that have come across, I feel like a lot of them, so some, I think, usual contenders. Are there any that stand out to you, though, Reiner, when you look at the 8 that are going through the playoffs?
Stand out in what sense? I mean, you've got Dr. Boomin and Warwick going through as your standout teams, going through undefeated, looking like the best teams here. I mean, we could also be talking about Roehampton, of course, if they didn't forfeit in that first game yesterday. Just an incredible performance throughout today, only losing 1 game out of the 6 that they played. Great work from them. And I mean, I want to shout out Bath as well for a team that really struggled early on. They lost 3-0 to Chichester. They lost 3-2 to Birmingham. You're thinking, this doesn't look like a team that are going to be able to make it through. And then to pick up a big victory in the 2-2s against Northampton, that's a tough team to play, proven across the series that we've seen. So, I mean, yeah, maybe one to watch out for next week as well. A bit of a dark horse is Bath for me.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably the biggest surprise. I feel like they were one that I figured was going to get through at some point, right? But I guess at the end of the day, sometimes it really is more about the destination than the journey. You're through to double elimination, right? You've done the hard part. Unfortunately, though, because of the fact that they did end up needing to go all the way to that 5th round, it is going to make their job a little bit tougher as far as that first draw. Probably going to, I mean, there's a good chance you could be looking, at one of either Dr. Bowman or Warwick there, and those are 2 teams that I would not want to be starting my playoff run against here, Pegasus.
Absolutely not. Warwick have looked excellent. I think they've gone somewhat under the radar here for how well they've played. A Game 5 win is really impressive against... in that 2-0 round. They picked up that 3-1. They had to fight their entire way through this bracket and was able to pull it off. Not a single handout, not a single forfeit or DQ win went their way. They just got the job done on the pitch, and that's really impressive for me. But I have to double up on the Barcelona shout, because there were only very few teams that took multiple qualifiers to get themselves into the top 8. SI took 2 attempts, Birmingham took 2 attempts, PXL took 2 attempts, and then there was only Barcelona and Northampton that took more than 2 qualifiers. It was 4 qualifiers for Barcelona and Northampton, albeit Barcelona did actually do DQ their way out of the first qual. They have fought tooth and nail to even have the right to be on this graphic in front of us. They'll be able to show on the next one as well, and that has got to be just a great feeling in Bath right now.
Yeah, I mean, you've accomplished the job for week number 1. You've earned a spot in the playoffs, and like you said, they had to definitely use all 4 of those qualifiers to get here. So I guess only in fitting fashion that they use all 5 rounds to get through as well. I guess my question now comes to you, Rhino. Do you feel like for teams such as Warwick and Arcata, who you mentioned to us at different points of the broadcast as teams that watch out for, do you feel like there's now a sense of pressure because now you are at kind of the top of like the rankings here, right? You now kind of have that target on your back, whereas before you were kind of under the radar due to the fact of the Dr. Bowmans, the Roehamptons, and the like?
I think it's an interesting question, because I think for Warwick, not necessarily. I think Warwick have been in that position before. I think they know what to expect from the top level of Collegiate Rocket League. I think it's a different thing altogether for Arcata. I think they know other events much better than they know you are. And I think as the only Finnish team now representing, that is a lot of weight on the back as well, right? You're representing not just your university, but your country moving forwards in this tournament. And so I think pressure is going to be more of a factor against the Arcata side than Warwick. But I think you're right in saying that both of them will have a little bit of a target on their back going into next week.
Well, since we're talking about next week, how about we go ahead and get a little preview about what our playoff bracket does look like? A reminder as we pull it up, it was best of 5s through Swiss. Next week, we do move into those best of 7s. And we had talked about for a Barcelona who really kind of scratched and clawed their way through. I was worried about the draw. Dr. Bowman for them in round number 1. Arcata, Roehampton, Warwick, PXL, Southampton, Birmingham. Obviously, we only just now saw these pop up, but I guess we'll give the floor to both y'all. I mean, Pig, is there any matchup that, really catches your attention for round 1?
Definitely that Arcata versus Roehampton match is a standout for me. Of course, Roehampton are, I would say, the favourite teams go all the way. They're the reigning UR champions after what was an incredible grand final recovery versus Dr. Bowman after quite a slow start. If they have a slow start yet again at the playoff stage, Arcata could be one of those teams that knocks them into the lower bracket. And I wouldn't say that would have been the same case if they were playing some of these other sides, let's just say, in this bracket. But outside of that, they're all pretty close. I would say the only one that you'd expect to be somewhat of a wash is Dr. Bowman versus Bath, but we could always get shocked.
Hey, but always have a turnaround. I was going to say, right, like it is at this point, top 8, they're all pretty close matchups. But yeah, same question to you, Ryan. I mean, what one are you looking for?
I am absolutely going to raise Southampton versus Birmingham. And the reason I'm doing that is because that was played in Game 4 today in Swiss. It went all 5 games. Southampton just about won in that 5-game series. But the fact that Birmingham get the chance in the first round of playoffs for revenge in a Game 5 loss, woo, that's going to be a spicy one. I'm excited to see that for sure.
I think one thing that I love the most is I feel like we all felt the same about that topmost matchup. But we all kind of were looking towards different matchups as the one that we were looking forward to, because Warwick and PXL had a common opponent here today in Chichester. I feel like when you look at that matchup, Warwick would be like the school that you would expect to be the favorite, but PXL technically handled things in one less game. PXL now have gotten the monkey off the back of now we are a top 8 squad. At this point, you're playing with house money, going against a team that might even be overlooking you at that point, almost like a trap game scenario for Warwick. So yeah, I feel like all 4 matchups tomorrow should be a whole heck of a lot of fun. And I mean, week number 1 done and dusted here, Big. I mean, I feel like we couldn't really have asked for much of a better run through Swiss.
No, we really couldn't have. And I kind of enjoy, even though it wasn't originally part of the plan, that we're going to have a little bit of time until we do have that playoff stage, because now this is all up to the teams that know they have made that spot to get prepared. You have just under a week now to make sure you get those scrims in as a team. If you have a facility, go to the facility. If you don't have a facility, do by any means all the scrims possible to have yourself ready for top 8s, but especially if you are a team like PXL. You've got a player there who is on a scholarship. This is what everything has built up for, and you can actually lose that upper bracket game as well and start to recover in the lowers. You cannot forget that that is always an option, and there's a real chance, especially with this UR pool, that there's going to be a shock result or two. I'm expecting a huge upset at some point in the next week.
I feel like we always see someone go down to that lower bracket surprisingly early that makes a pretty good run. So it will be fun to see how that thing plays out next week. But I mean, Rhino, we're down through Swiss rounds here. We've got ourselves a top 8. I guess any thoughts before we head off to playoffs next week?
I'm going to be honest, the storyline that I'm looking for is the Barcelona miracle run, right? Lose in round 1 to Dr. Boomin and then go right the way through the lower bracket, get your revenge in the grand final, get the bracket reset. Let's mark the Cinderella story now. But no, seriously, I think the top 8 teams that we've got here, they are the best 8 teams that we had in this competition that decided to show up. And I think we're going to have a fantastic week next week. I really do. I wouldn't want to pick right now who's going to take home the trophy.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like when you look at how things have kind of unwound through Swiss, yeah, I feel like you can look at some favorites maybe through the bracket, but really anything can tell. But I mean, that will, as far as wrap things up for Swiss, we have a whole bunch of fun action next week. So make sure that you guys are tuning in next week. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that follow button down below and turn those notifications on as well. That way we can catch you back next week. Same time, same channel. We'll be starting off in that upper bracket as far as on Wednesday and wrapping things up on Thursday as well. Always a blast to be able to join some talented individuals like you two gentlemen. Can't wait to kick things off next week. Gotta make sure we're giving a big shout out to the man behind the curtains, Haza, giving us the views, the vibes, the eyes, and the skies, the real GOAT, giving us really the best program to really make sure we're telling the story over here at Uni Rocketeers. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until we catch y'all back for the next one, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, and from the rest of the crew here from the front to the back, have a great rest of your week. Peace. We're out of here.